Hello, friends. Today's episode is brought to you by From Within Records. If you're not listening to the From Within Records podcast, please boot up Spotify, click that subscribe button, and enjoy all the good content coming your way. And like I always say, please support From Within Records because they support us. If you're looking for high quality merch for your band or for your business, please hit up my friends over at Good Fortune Printing out of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You can follow them on Instagram at Good Fortune Printing. If you want to get in contact with them, please email them, contact@goodfortuneprinting.com. You can thank me later. On today's episode, Tyler Short returns. Quick turnaround. We decided to get together before I fly out to Louisville for LDB to talk about season 3 of What If, the final season. And it's fun. It's always fun talking to Tyler. I think it's an interesting thing because we have to consciously stop ourselves at some point in the podcast, because if we don't, we could literally go on for hours. Tyler and I just we're just on that vibe where these things, time flows so different when we're doing these podcasts. So it's always interesting when we have to be like, oh fuck, we got to cut it off because we got shit to do. But this one was awesome. It's always fun being able to talk about the MCU with Tyler. This season of What If was fun. Episode 6 is my favorite. If you've not watched What If and you're all at all curious, what is this? It's just a really cool animated show telling some interesting stories that could take place in the Marvel universe. But this was fun. And today, while you're listening to this, I will be traveling back to Louisville for LDB. I will be getting there in time for the pre-show, and I'm healthy, which I'm so happy about because I've been so paranoid. Anytime I hear anybody cough or sneeze around me, I'm just like, please get away from me. I have a trip to go on, and I'm going to be on vacation. So I'm happy that I've been able to make it through, and I will be going to Louisville healthy this time, because last time I really am gonna enjoy the fact that I'm going back healthy and I could enjoy it, because when I think back, I don't even know what I was thinking. Thinking I could travel feeling the way that I felt. I in my mind, I guess I was not as bad as I thought, because if I'm being honest, when traveling there, I felt okay. I thought I was over the hill in terms of being sick. I was like, all right, cool. I think we saw the worst of it, but the night of the showcase, it just all came crashing down, and it was not fun. And I was embarrassed because I was just so sick. I was coughing up a storm, bloody nose the whole time I was there. And even traveling back, I was like, how am I going to make it back to California? I have to go through the airport to get on a plane again. But I made it. But this time we're going back. We're going to be healthy, and good times will be had. The pre-show is going to be so awesome. I'm excited to see Steamroll for the first time. Hopefully I can get one of those Metalcore Sucks t-shirts, because they're very limited. The fest is going to be awesome. There's going to be so many friends. I'm excited to see Shogun, Bitter End, Gargoyle, Super Heaven. They just dropped a new record, which is amazing. But yeah, it's going to be a really good time. So if you see me there, please come say hi. Let's take a photo so I can post it on my Finsta. And yeah, I'm just so excited that I will be enjoying the cold weather. I think it's going to be colder than home. It's actually warming up here in Orange County. But I'm just so excited to be traveling back. LDB season. Let's get it. But go watch What If, and then come back here and listen to Tyler and I just talk about all things the MCU. And we'll be back. Thunderbolts is right around the corner. Ironheart's right around the corner. This train just doesn't stop, and it's amazing. So please strap in, enjoy this conversation. Without further ado, welcome Tyler Short to the show.
that should be lost in a dream. As it enters slowly, we're all that you see.
All right, and we're recording. Welcome back, Tyler.
Back, yeah. Welcome back. It was like 1 week. 1 week later.
Yeah, this is a really quick turnaround, but
yes,
but
on Jim Barron's birthday of all things.
Happy birthday, Jim Barron!
Happy birthday, Jim Barron! I went and worked out with him in his basement, and then went and got wings with him and our friend Dave Bogger, and then Isaac came and hung out, and we went on a long hike at a park. And it was a good day.
Now, a couple things I'm curious there. Wings, out of the couple times I've been to Louisville, I've never heard of a good wing spot.
We didn't go to one of those. We went to a Roosters, which is, I don't know how chainy Roosters is, but I know there's several of them in Louisville. Ashton hates it. It is one of the few things that's open past 10 p.m. So for a while, it was like a staple thing after gigs where we would go get Roosters because it's fucking open. And every time we would get it, she would be dissatisfied. So I just stopped even bothering to suggest it. So when we tried to go to this place, Lonnie's, which is like a Chicago hot dog spot. But there are good wings in Louisville. Mama's Barbecue. It's like Mama's Barbecue Mustard and Pickles or whatever is they're good wings there. And Frankfurt Avenue Beer Depot. Those are my favorite wings in Louisville. Other than that, everything else is fine.
Okay. And how's the weather? Because you mentioned a walk. I'm going to be there next week, which is crazy to think about.
Okay, so everybody else was freezing cold. And in jackets. I was in pants and a t-shirt because I work in freezers. But it is windy as fuck right now.
Okay.
So most likely it's going to be like decent weather. Could be rainy. Who knows? We'll see.
All right. Well, I'll be prepared for whatever.
Yeah, I would say it's not going to be cold.
I
don't think.
Last time I was there and I was like, I thought I liked the cold, but I was having a tough time. But I think it's because I was sick. Now that I look back on it.
Yeah, and it was, November in Louisville can be warm or it can be chilly. It can change by the day.
Dude,
nowadays.
I remember being at the showcase and I forget who I was talking to. I was sitting at the table and I was just talking about how cold I was. And some random guy came up. He's like, dude, I have an extra jacket. Like, would you like to borrow it? And I didn't even know his name. I just said yes, because that's how cold I was. And he came over, brought me his jacket, and it warmed me up. And I was like, dude, I'm going to be here. I'm not going to steal your jacket. So just come find me and I'll give this back to you. And he's like, yeah, dude, don't even worry about it.
Southern hospitality, man. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it blew my mind. Just this guy just warmed me up just because he overheard me complaining about how cold I was. So shout out to that guy, whoever he is.
I'm curious who it was.
He was. I don't even. I've never seen him before. But obviously, I'm not from the area, so maybe he comes around. I don't know. Maybe I'll see him next week. Who knows? Okay, we're back, but this is because we're here to talk about What If Season 3.
Yeah.
And
it was fine.
If I'm being honest, I was kind of waiting for the call from you to be like, hey, like when do you want to do an episode about this? Because I put it off.
Same.
And when you hit me up about it, I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's buckle in. Like, I don't even know what is in the season because I just ignored everything. I didn't watch any videos on it. I knew it was going to be the last
one. That's all I knew.
And yeah, and I felt like I was pleasantly surprised because there are some episodes where I'm kind of like, this is like kind of weird, but there's some episodes that were like really fun where I'm like, okay, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, there were probably 3. I would say before we get into it, just off top, I think there were 3 episodes I had a lot of fun with, and then some I was just kind of like, this was 30 minutes of my life.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I was watching one episode and I was like, I think Tyler might really like this one.
Was it your favorite one?
No, it wasn't my favorite.
Okay.
One. But it was
gonna
one that I
say,
enjoyed. It was on
the one that you texted me that was your favorite one made immediate sense the second it started, and I was like, oh, I know exactly why Jamie liked this episode.
Dude, it had like all the elements of things that I love. So it was,
Oh yeah, oh I know.
Should we just go in
But
order?
yeah, do you want to jump into the shit and right off bat?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can go to the first episode, which is the like Gamma War, Hulk episode.
What if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers? Which sure, this is fine. It was. I mean, I get it. It was like a homage to like Japanese monster.
Yeah, like well, it was like a mixture of things. It was like kaiju, Gundam, Power Rangers, and it was like things that I'm like, okay, those are okay, but like I was never super into any of those.
Yeah, I was big Power Ranger head as a kid, so I think the Pink Ranger was it was like the Pink Ranger and Elizabeth Shue from Adventures in Babysitting were like my original crushes.
Oh wow.
As a child, so I was big on Power Rangers, like the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, all the way up until probably the Insane movie that opens with if anybody remembers the Power Rangers movie, it opens with them skydiving into a rollerblade scene, which is the most 90s thing you could have fucking imagine. And I want to say shortly after the movie, that was like the end of me in the toys and caring about Power Rangers. But I fucked with this to a certain extent because I did watch a significant amount of Gundam over the past I want to say year and a half or whatever. I watched 2 of the series on Dave Bogger's urging for years and years and years.
Okay.
Trying to get me to watch Gundam because I watched Gundam Wing when it was on Toonami. But I didn't understand how any of it fit together, and the fact that Gundam Wing is like a completely separate thing from the original Gundam timeline or whatever. It doesn't exist or doesn't coexist with the other Gundam stuff. So I enjoyed a significant amount of this, but I mean, these things are kind of weird because when they try to have stakes, sometimes it just doesn't feel like there is any stakes.
Yeah, this one
and that's kind of how this felt to me. It was I didn't feel that because some of the last 2 seasons, like the Doctor Strange stuff, was heartbreaking to watch, and this was set Bruce Banner and Sam Wilson up to have kind of the relationship that Cap and Sam have, or that Steve and Sam have, and it didn't hit. Honestly, I don't think I like Mark Ruffalo as a voice actor. Honestly,
I just felt like it was just a little too convenient. He has the atomic bomb. Let's go find him. I don't know. It just to me.
I think his crib was sick. The way he had himself set up on the plane.
I was looking at how they had to get up just to get to the house part. I'm like, this is I would never want to leave. Yeah, I was like, I would never want to leave.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing when Sam lands his Gundam and gets out of the shit and then is walking through the jungle, and I'm like, dog, nah, just fly around and look for him.
Yeah, I'm stomping through that jungle.
Nah, dude, I'm not. Yeah, fuck that, dude. Fuck. Land on the beach and then walk through the woods. Nah, no.
But the one thing that did get me excited is because we got to see the homie Shang-Chi.
Dude, we did.
Yeah, and I was
and Moon Knight showed up too.
He did?
Yeah, Moon Knight was one of the mechs.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm having to think because I kind of speed ran the whole season.
Yeah, we watched it in 2 days.
But I'm just to me, Shang-Chi is just he should we should have had more of him by now. Mm-hmm. So any Shang-Chi, I'm just I'm happy.
Yeah, no, I was stoked to see Simu Liu pop up in the thing. Speaking of him, man, I can't remember if I don't think we talked about this. Do you see the like the TikTok that he made about the tax cuts and whatnot?
No, I did not.
Dude, so honestly, he's got some pretty cool he's in like a Canadian version of Shark Tank.
Okay.
And like I've seen like some like big moments where he like has said some pretty like interesting things that like I wouldn't assume this like gorgeous man would like be as aware and like educated as he actually is. But when I think this was like when we were in New Orleans, when we got snowed in at that blizzard at New Orleans, Ashton was getting ready one day and scrolling through TikTok because that's what she does while she's getting ready, and found a TikTok from Simu Liu where he's talking about Trump's tax cuts and who they will affect. And he's talking about how like this will primarily affect people like him to pay less taxes. And he was saying like, I think that's wrong. I think that I make so much money, therefore I should have to contribute back to the society that brought me my wealth. And that money should be, go to schools and roads and all the different things that like, in like programs that help, everyone else who isn't as privileged as I am get by. And was basically like kind of like imploring other people in his tax bracket, you should donate these tax savings you're going to get to people, like to causes and to things that like this money should have been going to otherwise, because that's what I'm going to do. And this is me making this video to like hold myself accountable to, contribute back to society that has given me so much. And I was like, man, you know what? He didn't have to do that.
He's a good guy.
He could have just taken the W.
Yeah.
And been like, oh, you know what? The government just wants me to have this money, so I guess I'll just have this money like every other piece of shit. But yeah, I don't know. It's striking to me because I feel like a guy who's that handsome doesn't have to be a good person.
Well, there was speculation for a while because he's like, faced criticism in China for some comments that he's made about his like upbringing. Because there was like that call sheet that was like released a while back. I think that's a proper term for like, all the actors that are going to be, filming for like this first Avengers film, and his name wasn't on the list. And people were speculating like, oh, maybe like they're not having him in the movie because they won't be able to air it in China because, China was kind of going against them for a little bit.
Dude, that's like my biggest thing with like, and I know like when, like right now I'm reading a book. I just started it the other day. It's about like the COINTELPRO, the FBI's like spying on American citizens as far as like the Communist Party USA and the Black Panthers and all of the different, and basically like how they killed Fred Hampton and Martin Luther King Jr. and all this shit. Like all that stuff's like part of looped in with COINTELPRO. But one of the main things the book is like getting into is like how like easy it was to like infiltrate some of these organizations, whether they were like pro-Soviet organizations or like pro-Mao or like Maoist organizations and whatnot. And one of the like, it's so frustrating to like look back on that time and like how many people who, just because it was like putting up like an alternative to the capitalist system, they were completely okay with like, I mean, and again, people then maybe didn't know as well how bad Stalin was on certain things, because like Mao and a lot of the like CCP people were like very much like against. That's like when like right now where I'm in the book is about the Sino-Soviet split, when China and the Soviet Union were like, nah, we don't fuck with each other anymore. Even though we're both communists, you're not doing it right. Well, no, you're not doing it right. And it was just because like Nikita Khrushchev, when he took over the Soviet Union, basically was like kind of apologizing for Stalin's days and like a lot of the repression that he did. And Mao was like kind of like, no, it was justified. Like it was all fine. Like you're you don't need to be doing this. And it created this whole big division and whatnot. And that attitude is the same attitude we as America have too, which is like the lack of ability to just like take 2 steps back and go, maybe we didn't do everything right all the time. And maybe that's okay to admit, because maybe pretending like we've done everything perfect forever is way more harmful, especially to people's brains. Because if you do just believe whole cloth everything the government says, then you're in for a fucking rude awakening at some point when you have to reckon with that. Or you just get to continue on being stupid as fuck and just completely uninformed all the time. Like, this is how we have Trump. It's how we have people who there's this cultish following of different things. And that's how like so many people were towards like Stalin, and how so many people were towards Mao, where I think both of them had some things. I know not so much Stalin, but I think Mao had a lot of good points. But I think he like definitely instilled in China this real huge ability, like inability to ever like acknowledge when you fucked up. And I think like it would be way more like, I don't know, it'd be like way more understanding and like give them like a better like place in the world if they could admit their own fuck ups while pointing out America's fuck ups. Because if you can only point out somebody else's fuck ups and never admit to your own, then you're not telling the truth.
I feel like our country has done so much bad that if they start apologizing for some of the bad, and the people are gonna start peeling back the layers of all the bad, and it's a crazy rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth fucking doing though. I mean, dude, it's like that's my thing. It's like anybody who like, it's the inability to be criticized, like, it's weak.
Yeah,
It's weak. Like, take your fucking criticism. Like if it's in good faith, that can help you grow. If it's in bad faith, that can help you be convinced you are in the right.
true. Yeah, no, because if I get criticized and in my heart I know that what they're saying has some truth to it, like, it'll affect me, and I'll take some time and
Adjust.
Exactly. But then there's people who've tried to like shit on me, which I know isn't true. I'm like, oh, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a personal problem.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, that's sad to think that Simu Liu could be like ever possibly like some like it's crazy to me to think that like a movie that he's in could not end up in China when he is like, I don't know, like such a good representation of like having like a good solid moral compass and like idea about like how to move through the world and care for other people. I don't know, just that TikTok was really endearing to me. And then also like I just saw some clips from his like one of these Shark Tank things where like somebody was like, I think it was someone was pitching a bubble tea, like a bubble tea that you can make from home or something like that. And basically he was like, okay, 2 things. Is anybody of Asian descent in your company? And they were like, no. And he was like, that's problematic. You are appropriating a culture. You're appropriating something from another culture, like, and yada yada. Like, went over all the the buzzwords that a lot of like SJW types probably like say, and that like people who hate woke probably get upset with. But he had a good point, and one of his points was, you doing this with zero connection to the communities that like brought up this thing into popularity. A company like yours, like capturing market from the people who developed this and nurtured this and like made this like popular drink, you could actually pull business from like brick and mortars of people who like this is their livelihood, and you are just capitalizing on a trend. and like aired this all out on like BBC or like whatever CBC or whatever the Canadian broadcast channel or whatever it is, aired all this out, just like made this incredibly nuanced point. And then I'm pretty sure like he talked the other like Canadian sharks out of investing in this thing. Because by the end of him talking about it and explaining the position or whatever, they were like, this probably isn't a good idea, actually.
Yeah. He's like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
It was incredible. It was like really like it was really neat and like really well spoken. And I don't know. It was impressive. It was impressive to me to see him you know, convey that in such a clear, concise way on national TV on the fly.
Yeah, well, you know, all the hyped up boba spots that pop up out here, they're all like from Asia, right? It's like, oh my god, like, you know, finally this chain from China is here in Orange County. This is like legit boba. And
so that's the thing. That's why that's frustrating to me to hear that his comments that might have been critical of the CCP might have some merit or might not have some merit, but that shouldn't affect your ability to like let your country enjoy his work when he is somebody who represents that national identity or whatever in such a positive way.
Yeah, 100%. Because I remember when Shang-Chi came out, there was talks that this guy might be the leader of the next Avengers team, but then he got like shelved.
God, dude, I'm really happy he's at least getting like, this is even just his little show ups in this season. I'm just like, okay, they're not forgetting about him.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he didn't. His name did get announced when they did the chair release. Mm-hmm. So I think that's when I kind of was like way relieved when I saw his name. I'm like, okay, this is.
I'm just so bummed that they haven't utilized him more because he's so young right now.
Mm-hmm.
That like use them while they're young.
and you got to think too, like, you know, his like impact, you know, being like one of the first new characters after Endgame, but mm-hmm. being successful, you know, like the movie was great, you know, so yeah, I felt like since then it's like, how has he not popped up in more stuff?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of the ones that like I haven't revisited, but I'm not opposed to revisiting because I did have so much fun with it, and it is also one of the ones that I still remember most of it.
Yeah.
Like it was a different enough thing that like I can remember some of those. I can remember that fight between his mom and dad mm-hmm. when they met.
Oh yeah, when they're like, yeah.
And how cool it all was, man. I can remember a lot of those fight scenes, and like the bus fight scene was a good set and a good action piece. Like the bamboo like structure thing was a great set piece. I don't know, reminded me of that scene in Rush Hour 2. You know, we talked about that when we talked about it.
I was at KCON, which is like it's like a K-pop convention, like Korean lifestyle convention, and I was at the concert portion, right? Because there's like the con during the day, and there's like performances and shows during the day, like inside the convention hall. But you know, right next to the convention center is the crypto arena, the Staples Center, whatever you want to call it, and that's mm-hmm. where they have like the concert at night, like the giant concert. And I remember I had a buddy who like paid some people to like camp out for him, so we had like the barricade, and like we chose the side of the stage where the artists were coming in and out of the tunnel, because like we've seen all these artists before. We'd rather try to get interactions with like the people coming in and out because that's way more fun. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, we were there and I forgot that Awkwafina was there as like a special presenter.
Oh yeah.
And she walked by and everybody was just like so stoked on like, you know, the K-pop and stuff. And I saw her and I just kept screaming Shang-Chi, and she was like, what the hell is this? This guy's a fucking weirdo. Because, you know, I don't think that's what she was expecting from anybody like while she was there. And, but I was just, you know, obviously I love her as an actress, but just, you know, that was just something that it just came to me. I'm like, well, I got to say something about Shang-Chi.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, there's like, I've heard about like a lot of one of my buddies is like a huge like horror guy, and one of his favorite things, and also I've actually met another guy who does this to a similar extent too, but one of his favorite things was bringing like actors at like conventions and whatnot, bringing like their like unknown movies
to
get signed,
the deep cuts.
Yeah, and like one of my fellow union stewards at another store, whenever my union rep, every now and then he'll like get us all together and take us out for pizza. Um, and this guy from another store was telling me like he's a huge like soundtrack collector. Like he collects like soundtracks on vinyl.
Okay.
And one of his things is going to the different cons and getting people from those movies to like sign these soundtracks. And some of them are really obscure. So he like will have these really like nice, unique interactions with these actors and actresses because he's bringing them something sometimes they've never seen before.
Oh wow.
Like they've never seen, like they've seen the posters, they've seen the DVDs, they've seen the VHS tapes, they've seen all these things. Some of them have never seen these soundtracks on vinyl before. So like they'll like get like really excited and start like flipping through it and like looking at like the art and looking at like the back and stuff. And that's neat. Like like bringing up like a thing that somebody like would figure you would associate with them with, and then also like bringing up like just the thing that means the most to you that they're associated with is like that's how you get that unique interaction with somebody.
Yeah, no, I always think back because obviously like down here, obviously you can see Jessica Jones. I'll never forget meeting Kristen Ritter, and obviously like I had to fanboy about Jessica Jones, but I also had to throw in. I'm like, dude, like She's Out of Your League is like like really cool too.
Dude, it's such a good movie.
Yeah. And and she obviously like I don't want to bring up Breaking Bad because she dies in that.
Yeah.
So just I tend to throw something else in there because like
famously one of the most aggravating deaths in any show movie whatsoever.
Yeah, it just made me hate Walter so much more.
God, what a piece of shit. Fuck, you want to get back to what we're talking about this goddamn episode of the show?
Episode 2 was fun.
Okay, I can't remember it. Like, there's nothing much more to talk about the episode 1. It's fine. Yeah. Episode 2 was fun. Episode 2 was when Ashton kind of woke up.
Okay. Oh, woke up.
Yeah. She doesn't like these as much as I do.
Okay.
Because 2 reasons. I think she doesn't remember the stories as well as I do. Her like THC riddled brain is like just unable to keep all these storylines straight.
Okay.
So there'll be certain actors who she'll just like completely forget even existed in the MCU. And sometimes then she'll like, if she likes one of the what if things, she'll like that more than she liked the movie. And then part of her brain will kind of rewrite the movie to fit something that happened in the what if.
That's fine.
So she's like, these things just kind of confuse me to a certain extent because sometimes I like them more than the actual thing, and I'm like, why didn't they just make this?
Because it's too crazy. Yeah.
Because it's too crazy, exactly. And this one is definitely too crazy. I was happy to see this though, because I was happy that Catherine Hahn got to show up in one of these things, but the Agatha going to Hollywood one was definitely fun.
I just love whenever the Eternals have to get mentioned. So I'm just like, yes, it was so bad, but at least we're still getting in like little sprinkles here and there.
Yeah, no, and it was definitely very I liked it because it did Agatha's character like correctly, where of course in the end she really was just wanting the power for herself.
Mm-hmm.
But then I like that Kumail Nanjiani's character was able to like appeal to her selfishness.
Yeah, because he didn't care. He's been living forever, so he's like, yeah, screw it. I'll take the contract. Give me all these movies. I just want to be famous.
Yeah, but he was able, when she was then giant celestial Agatha, he was able to be like, you already have the power, right? The movies. That's the biggest power. Also, I did like all the jokes about actors that were in it. The like laughs at the expense of the act of acting were pretty solid.
And Howard Stark, I'm just like, they just were like, yep, right. They've been like really goofy because he just didn't care. He's like, all right. He's like, I'll buy it. Griffith Observatory.
And I liked at the end when he was like, "You think I don't know that you're an alien and you're a robot? Like, come on, I'm the smartest guy on the smartest guy on the planet."
Yeah, because it tricked me because I thought, okay, maybe in this timeline he's kind of an idiot, but yeah, and then he drops that. I'm like, okay, no, he's always going to be smart.
Yeah, no, it was pretty funny. But yeah, Kingo, like, I always forget Kumail Nanjiani's character's name because I hated the movie so damn much. Yeah, fucked up though that Agatha had taken all the powers from the other Eternals as well.
Yeah, but it made me think like, did she have to like sweet talk all of them?
She said that they were
Yeah.
still alive, just in storage. I don't know what that means, but
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get to see some of them, but
I'm fine with it. I don't really give a shit.
but it was cool to see Arishem again.
Yeah, I guess it was all fine.
Okay. All right.
Catherine Hahn was the big highlight for me for this one. I'm glad she got to at least have fun and cash that Marvel check again.
Yeah, she's awesome.
It was pretty funny watching the Bollywood style dancing
okay
versus the classic Hollywood dance number
Mhm.
thing. And then I was like just watching it and going, this is all animated. Far less impressive, honestly. You don't have to get 80 people together to dance in sync. This is just animation. It's fine.
Would have been too much. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of, like, because I don't really watch musicals.
I kind of hate them.
Yeah, I think like the last one I just like enjoyed was like La La Land.
Yeah, I never saw it. I would maybe consider it just because I do like Gosling, but I'd have to be in a real open mood for a musical. I find them very off-putting. I think I told you this story. One of my idiot friends once went and saw Sweeney Todd.
No, I don't think I remember.
It was like
this.
back in high school.
Okay.
He goes and sees Sweeney Todd. He's sitting down watching Sweeney Todd. 10 minutes in a theater, probably like 30 other people in the theater, he just says out loud, "Why is Johnny Depp singing?" Had no idea it was a musical.
I've never seen it. That's funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I've never
you
seen
at least know it's a musical, right?
Yes, I found it after the fact because at first I thought it was like a normal Tim Burton movie, but then when somebody mentioned it was a musical,
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, like, I'm gonna stay away from that.
It's actually pretty good. I would say that might be one of the ones that's good,
Okay.
but it's because it's funny.
okay.
Like, I don't think I can watch like Les Mis or some shit. I don't think I can watch something that's like about the French Revolution and be like, I don't know.
You know, I've always wanted to watch Rent, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about any of this shit. I did kind of want to see Cats just because it looked like such a train wreck.
Oh, that's what Taylor Swift was in that, right?
Yeah, like everybody was in it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got pulled from the theater too fast because I think.
Oh, dude, it was in and out.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Real quick on movies, I was watching like I was just on YouTube and there's like just like random missable facts from just like just like Marvel movies, and in Deadpool versus Wolverine, they said that there's a car in the movie that's from Plane, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay.
Yeah, because they said that Ryan Reynolds was like a huge fan of that. I'm like, I wonder if Tyler knows about that.
I don't know about that. That's sick.
It was like some like station wagon car.
Yeah, I believe. I wonder if it's the one that's all melted that spoiler for the movie. You need to see that movie, dude. It's a classic movie.
Okay, well, it's on my list. It's only been a week, so I've been busy dealing with some stuff.
Have you seen any John Hughes films then?
John Hughes.
Have you seen The Breakfast Club?
Oh, I love The Breakfast Club. That's a classic.
Okay. Have you seen 16 Candles?
Of course.
I'm trying to think of other John Hughes films right now.
Well,
Those are like the two that immediately come to mind.
all right, let me look up his list. But yeah, Breakfast Club. I felt like I loved like later in life, but 16 Candles I watched because like my mom.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is John Hughes as well.
Yes, I have a newfound glory Ferris Bueller's Day Off rip that they did when they played Riot Fest like 5 or 6 years ago.
Weird Sciences, John Hughes.
Never seen it.
It's problematic, but it's kind of fun. It might not work if you're not a horny teenager.
Okay, it says Home Alone, John Hughes.
He produced it.
Producer. Okay.
Yes. And it will. So here's the thing with John Hughes. He writes he wrote a ton of movies
Okay.
that were like big deals, but he didn't direct all of them. So he wrote the Beethoven movie.
Is that the dog?
Yep. He wrote
Okay.
Flubber. He wrote
Wait.
the live action 101 Dalmatians.
I don't want to talk about these live actions. I'm surprised we didn't talk about that last time.
Yeah, he wrote Home Alone. He wrote Uncle Buck. Have you ever seen Uncle Buck?
Yes.
Damn, dude. Well, then you should probably. Oh, he wrote National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I didn't know that.
All right. Well,
Pretty in Pink.
I've never seen that.
He wrote European Vacation as well. I don't think I knew that. Oh, I guess he wrote all the vacation movies. Damn, he wrote Mr. Mom. I didn't know that. You ever seen Mr. Mom?
Mm-mm.
It's good. It's Michael Keaton. It's one of my mom's favorite movies. Damn, that's an early one for him. That might be his first movie that he wrote that is like legit. But yeah, John Hughes is incredible. You should see Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's pretty crazy. You've seen so many of his other movies and you haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I just happened to miss that one. No, but I'll check it out.
It's incredible.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. He only directed 8 films because he died pretty like abruptly because he had a crazy run. So yeah, 16 Candles, 1984,
Okay.
Breakfast Club, 1985, Weird Science, 1985, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 1986, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, 1987. She's Having a Baby, which I've never seen, 88, Uncle Buck, 89, and then Curly Sue, never seen that, and then he died shortly after that.
He was too powerful.
So yeah, he just had a run in the fucking mid to late 80s of just bangers.
I'm gonna watch
Pretty
it.
good.
I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah, you should.
All right.
You want to move on to episode 3? What if the Red Guardians stop the Winter Soldier?
Watching this episode, I was like, I think Tyler's really gonna like this one.
I did like this one.
Just because it was so
I,
it was so political. I was like, oh, this is right up Tyler's alley.
So to 2 degrees. It is. I do find it like sort of grating. Playing it for laughs. Someone just caring about the working class conditions.
Okay.
But I did find it at least entertaining that they were injecting that in as like a big characteristic of the Red Guardian. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it was like, this one was kind of messy for me just from the perspective of like, they've not done a good job to me in the Marvel universe because there's different, they haven't done a good job at a few things. Did we drop the bomb on Japan? That's never been made clear.
Mm-hmm.
Because World War II went a very different way in the MCU because of Hydra and because of Captain America and different things like that. They've never truly addressed what it was on the Pacific Front in World War II. So that being said, we've never really established what it was like to I don't know, like geopolitically post World War II. Like, is there tension in Asia in a way that other than now, like, because another thing in Captain America 4 that we just saw, I don't know if you know this, Japan only has a defensive military.
Mm-hmm.
They are not allowed to have an offensive military.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that is still on the books since World War II. It's something that's still on the books since World War II for Germany as well. Germany is not allowed to like manufacture weapons over a certain amount. There are people trying to undo that because they want to make that money. And there are people in Japan who want to undo that because they would like to do militarization, like a remilitarization of their country, possibly because of tensions with China and whatnot. But that is a bad idea. The only thing that like surplusing arms does is incentivize your enemy to do the same. So the better thing to do always is to just appeal to people to want to coexist in a way that mutually benefits each other. that being said, in Captain America 4, Japan clearly has an offensive navy and military force, meaning that World War II went differently in this world than it has here. Meaning, also, we've never gotten a clear case about how the Cold War went as well. So we do not know how, like, and that's where I'm pissed off that we never truly got a great Black Widow movie that should have taken place like in the 90s, young in her career. And it would have maybe could have told that, like, that I don't know, that conflict a little bit and like flush that out a little bit more. Like, why would we have had like a disagreement or like tensions with Russia and whatnot? Like what was going on as far as like nuclear powers go and different things like that. And they just never explain any of that. So it's like very, very hard to take too much stock in the Red Guardian character. As much as I like him and I think he's funny and I like David Harbour as an actor, even though I guess he apparently recently ditched his wife of long time, which is a bummer. I guess he did one of those things where like he had like a wife before he was famous, and now that he's a big actor.
Captain Marvel did that too, right?
Who?
Brie Larson, right? Didn't she do that too?
Did she do that?
I'm pretty sure she did. She had like
a bunch of people do that.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm like, it's always an ick, but whatever. I can't remember who else. There's somebody else who did it that Ashton used as an example when she was telling me about David Harbour or whatever, and I was like, damn, that's so sad because I really like him as an actor. But whatever. I mean, life is messy.
Yeah,
it happens. But yeah, I mean, it's very confusing to me to understand like this tension and never really fleshing out the arms race and what the Cold War and what like the international conflicts that happened in the MCU were, because we just kind of jump in at 2008 and we're like post, Iraq war, like post Afghanistan war times, which that stuff I guess did happen.
Yeah, it just seems like whenever anything gets political, it just has to do with like superheroes.
Yes. And that's where I wish they did a better job. I mean, and that's where I think Captain America did a pretty good job of making it was political and it was about resources.
Yeah.
And Black Panther did a good job about making it political about resources.
Yeah, because it gives the opportunity for these other countries, because all these superheroes are pretty much based in America. Like, all right, all like the big, really strong superheroes. So with these resources, it's giving other countries the opportunity to maybe get on a level playing field and be able to have a say.
Yeah, because I've got a book over here that I haven't started yet. It's called For Might and Right, and it's about the military industrial complex and basically how American exceptionalism is all about, because we can dictate terms by force, we should. And I think that sucks. I think that sucks because all it does is incentivize another person to try to do that.
Yeah.
And it's never gonna fucking end well. But yeah, I don't know. I guess to me this episode was fun. It does kind of like make light of all the things that I take seriously in this world. But I do think it's funny enough, and I did like the idea of like, I don't know, this like little buddy adventure between the Winter Soldier and the Red Guardian. And I don't know, I thought it was sweet how like Bucky ended up not going along with his, not obeying his orders, just pull a bullet in the back of this idiot's head. But yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's fun.
Yeah, it was just interesting it's like they end up in Vegas. I didn't think they would get there.
Dude, when the big surprise for that one was someone doing Obadiah Stane. Him showing up in it was pretty interesting. And I did like the like that reveal, because I forgot that aspect of Civil War, that Obadiah Stane set up Howard and I can't remember Howard Stark's wife's name.
Maria, I think
Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah. But set them up to be killed because he wanted more power in the Stark organization. I forgot that. I forgot that even it wasn't even as much of a like countries conflict, like it wasn't even as much of a Cold War move as it was a corporate espionage move.
Yeah, just trying to get hostile takeover.
Yeah, which I mean, in a lot of ways, like Marvel, when it does get political, it mostly gets like it has to do with like companies being corrupt and different things like that. Like it's less countries being corrupt and more companies being corrupt. But then it does get into America being corrupt pretty often, which is those are the things I'm there for, honestly.
Yeah, they're speaking some truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, episode 4, like I this just weirded me out.
How did you feel about the Giant Man stuff in episode 3?
I was just like, it was okay. I was like, obviously they needed somebody on the good guy side to try to stop them. So, Bill Foster, whatever his name was.
Yeah,
it was okay.
I was, I completely had forgotten Lawrence Fishburne was in Ant-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point he was like, "Don't worry, I've got something." I went, "Oh shit, he's Giant Man." I remember now. That was me like a lot through these, was like wondering like, damn, this motherfucker's in this, and then going, oh yeah, that's right, they were that in that one thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Callbacks.
Yeah, episode 4 was fucking off the wall.
I was just like, this is the weirdest pairing, but I was like, is that, I don't know, interspecies? And this is weird, but it's okay.
Definitely more adult than I expected these things to get, honestly.
Yeah, because the whole time,
which I guess Howard the Duck was more adult than something like that should have been. Because doesn't he bang the girl from Back to the Future in Howard the Duck?
I don't know, does he?
I think she's the female lead. I think the mom from the first.
Okay, yeah.
Mom from the first Back to the Future is his like girlfriend in Howard, or the love interest in Howard the Duck, and I think that ruined her career.
Because she was hooking up with the duck.
Yeah, I think fucking the duck ruined her career. That'll happen.
There was one line when they're because like I was right, they get invited to this cruise, which I'm like, a cruise never sounds fun. I always get a little sketched out, but
a free cruise is a trap.
Yeah, doesn't sound, and you literally are trapped on the ocean. But there was this line that they're walking, they're like kind of like looking at like the pamphlet, talking about like the exciting things to do, and one of the things that they mentioned, they're like, oh, couples cliff diving in Vormir. And I'm like,
in Vormir, yeah.
And I'm like, this is bad. They don't know what's in Vormir. They don't know that that's where the Soul Stone is. Like, this is from that moment, I'm like, this is a trap. They're walking into something bad.
That line was really funny. I really liked that line. Dude, the idea of Kat Dennings laying an egg is so funny. But yeah, I mean, so many people show up in this. I mean, the Grandmaster Yondu's in this one.
Yondu's awesome.
Nick Fury and Coulson are in this one.
Coulson showing up, it's like, God, he's such a great character.
Yes, dude. I really did like the when they find out that like where Yondu's taken the egg, that he's gone to the collector or whatever. And in the back and forth of Howard being like, they've gone to nowhere. She's like, no, it's got to be somewhere. She's like, yes, to nowhere.
Yeah, she just doesn't get it that it's like an actual place.
They let that back and forth go like a perfect amount of time to like. This one was pretty funny, honestly. I was shocked to see Caecilius from the first Doctor Strange show up. That was pretty crazy.
His eyes, I'm like, this guy's a creep.
They didn't have. I'm gonna look real quick. I can't remember because I mean, fucking Josh Brolin came and did the one fucking line as or the 5 lines as Thanos. But who the fuck? Yeah, Jared Butler did Caecilius. I knew they didn't get Matt Mickelson back because I didn't see his name in the intro, which I wouldn't have expected him to come and voice a fucking cartoon.
You got to keep it going. I love when the actual actors and actresses come back for What If.
Me too. But I wasn't shocked that they didn't get Mads Mikkelsen to come back. I did like whenever they end up on fucking what's Loki's ice planet, Jotunheim.
Mhm.
Yeah, they end up on Jotunheim. Loki's just trying to open a ski resort.
Oh, God, yeah, and he has no support from his dad.
Yeah, that show is pretty funny. Because I guess in this one Loki never gets taken.
Yeah.
Very, very. I don't know. I really like the funny little differences. I did like whenever everyone's converging on trying to get the egg, and then the Black Order show up,
I got so pumped when that happened because that was
and they're like, "We're just here to ski."
yeah, and they're yeah, and Howard the Duck just kind of gives up like what they're doing, and they're like totally
They're
just
like,
switch
"Oh, shit.
interests.
I guess we should let Thanos know. Oh, dude, I did see something. One of the things I was watching about so if adamantium comes from like celestials,
Okay.
some people are thinking, or I guess one of the theories, because of how Thanos' sword just beats Cap's shield
Mm-hmm.
away, just breaks it, that Thanos had an adamantium sword. Which cool lore if so, wild if true, if you will.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah. But yeah, then the duck starts just like killing people left and right. Or I guess the egg starts killing people left and right. Yeah, it was fine. It was a fun one.
Kat Dennings, I and this is how I know like my phone and we're all being watched. After this episode, I was on my phone and an article pops up about Kat Dennings being at the Avengers campus here in Disneyland or California Adventure. And it was just a quick article talking about how she was there and just being kind of confused why people were waving at her and giving her extra attention because she knows she's famous, obviously, but she was in the Avengers campus, but kind of confused and not realizing like, oh shit, like I'm a part of this, like I'm in the universe. And yeah, it just talks about how she forgot that she was a part of the MCU, but it kind of clicked back when she was in the Avengers campus and she was getting like all this extra attention from people. That's
really funny. That's sweet.
Yeah,
Kat Dennings seems awesome.
Yeah, I like her in that. What was that one movie with Michael Cera? The music, the playlist. What was it called? Nick and Nora. Nick and Nora.
Yeah, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Yeah, it's a good one. She had a show on Hulu that I think only went for a couple seasons called Dollface.
Dollface. Okay.
It's the most like girly pop show like ever, but it is so good. It is awesome. It is definitely not for men, but it is very good.
Okay.
That show has the best like something that's done like beat. It's dead. We don't need Wicked. We don't need it. We didn't need anybody to make Wicked into a movie, but Wizard of Oz parodies, like parodies of the Wizard of Oz. That Dollface show does an episode that is a parody of the Wizard of Oz. That is the best Wizard of Oz parody I've ever seen.
Okay, on Hulu.
It is fucking incredible. There are so many incredible jokes that you would almost feel like this was like a Family Guy version of the Wizard of Oz because they make so many very like self-aware jokes at the Wizard of Oz. I can't remember right now there was one that like there was one joke they make that I was like, that is literally what I've always thought when I'm watching the Wizard of Oz, and it was insane to see somebody like do that.
Wow,
and like call that out. And I can't remember what it was now, but I know if I rewatched it, I would be like, yep, there it is. Because it's just been forever and I've crammed my brain full of so much more content and also hit it many times on things. But yeah, Dollface is good. If you like Kat Dennings, then you should watch the shit.
I'm a fan. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's good. And it's only like I think it's legit only like 2 seasons, and I think it's a 30-minute show. So like we watched it in a week, I believe. It's on Hulu.
All right.
Hulu original. It's one of the early Hulu originals, actually.
Early, okay. I came to Hulu late, so I probably missed it, but I'll check it out. Episode 5.
This one, how'd you feel about this one? Your boy's in it.
My boy. Oh, you're talking about the Sorcerer Supreme?
Who are we speaking of?
I was talking about Wong. Who are you talking about?
You're a Mysterio head.
I am. Okay, if I'm being honest, when I saw him being the major villain in this episode, I'm like, that is something that I would not have expected, but this is actually pretty fucking cool.
It was dark.
Because he's a, like, I've always looked at him as like a Spider-Man villain, not even like the most popular Spider-Man villain. So to see him become, he got to be so powerful and controlling Vision, I'm like, ooh, this is kind of interesting.
It was. I thought it was a cool way to like expand Mysterio in a way, and like because he sucks, like especially like the Quentin Beck of the MCU.
Dickhead.
Like he is like an egomaniac.
Yeah, but
and I don't know. I really liked that casting of him as this like ultimate authoritarian villain. It did feel a bit like they're trying to make fetch happen with Riri Williams, just kind of like pushing her out in front. But also, I'm like, I think people need to be reminded that she exists, and also she's super smart.
Really cool character. I just wonder why it has taken so long for her show to come out. Because
I don't know.
I mean,
the writer's strike maybe might have affected some things.
Yeah,
writer's strike extending into an actor strike that might have fucked some things up. And also, like, who knows? Like, it might have needed to come out after certain things for it to like fit in.
Yeah, for the continuity
to the story and whatnot. So I don't know.
I just hope that. Because obviously, like Iron Man's my favorite superhero, and I have the series where she gets introduced, and I always thought that it was like, really cool. Oh, cool. Here's like another like Tony Stark like pupil, but this girl, like, she kind of some random college student who's just like, insanely smart, but ends up becoming like an Avenger. And I just hope that her Disney Plus series, does her character justice, because I love that character. So seeing this, it was cool because it kind of like, it shows people, because it shows people how smart she is, but also how she's still just a kid, right? Because she makes mistakes.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the word. The
word
Mary Sue. That's the thing that a lot of people compare or would say when talking about Captain Marvel, just like when a female character just like has no ability, like nothing to overcome, really, like just kind of gets to come in or whatever. I did feel a little bit like I couldn't remember the trope or whatever the word for it was, but I did feel a little bit like this, like a couple times in this What If series, they did like fall into that like kind of Mary Sue trope with some of the female characters, where like, and this is like what pisses off all of like the anti-SJW, like anti-woke like nerds who live in their mom's basements, who lose their fucking minds anytime there's just a female on screen and without like, needing a man to help. But it did feel a little bit, I think, at the end of this one, when like all she had to do was just like fight. Like, well, just like, I'm like,
okay, hold on.
I don't know if it's that fucking easy to like.
It wasn't that easy. It was so hard that the watcher had to get involved.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. Like, maybe his power,
I think he gave her some juice.
Nudging someone, because he is a powerful being. Like, that is enough to just kind of like make you able to like kind of turn things around on a dime. But I don't know. It was a little, and it also kind of was. He wasn't giving her a. Like, I thought for a second he might have been giving her like an illusion of all of her dead friends.
Yeah.
But then when she kills him, that illusion doesn't go away. So he did just show her like, hey, your friends are all fucking dead.
Yeah, everybody.
So I was kind of like, I don't know if I would even want to live after this.
The only time that I had to kind of been like, okay, I'm just gonna pretend like she could have gotten it done, was when they show her like the lab. They're like, you can like make it here.
Oh, the thing in 7 minutes.
Yeah, she's like, oh, it's gonna take 12 hours, and he's like, no, you need 7 minutes, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those, like, I get it. It's a cartoon. It's
Yeah.
just for kids. Let's, we'll keep it moving. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be as profound as movies. But I do think that, like, it does suck when movies fail to do that with the amount of time and production and, like, scale that story should be told. I can kind of sometimes see that with Captain Marvel and the complaints that people have about Captain Marvel. But I do like Brie Larson, and I did like both of the Captain Marvel movies to a certain extent. I thought the second one's a little messy and maybe should have been at least 30 minutes longer.
Yeah, but I think having like Kamala Khan in there, I think it's made me enjoy it more.
Yes, it made it so much better, and that's why I wish it was a little longer. I wish they had been able to either utilize her a little more or utilize everybody else enough to, like, balance out how much she kind of carried that movie for me.
Yeah. I like Monica Rambeau too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But again, I think they didn't do enough with her in the movie. Mm-hmm. So I think with a little more time, I think they were afraid to make a long movie. I know they were, because I heard about that. I heard there was more to that movie that they just kind of trimmed off or didn't even bother making. So it's like,
but also too, like, dude, like one of the most important, like, post-credit scenes. It's just like,
yes.
It's like, come on.
Truly.
Yeah.
That's why I, like, wish the movie had been I wish they had executed the movie a little better. Even though I did find it funny, I honestly just kind of wish fucking Nick Fury wasn't in it.
Yeah, because I hate Nick Fury. It's after
Secret Invasion, dude, I'm over Nick Fury. I don't care for him to ever show up again.
Yeah, because he's a piece of crap character.
He's a shit character for me. I'm just not with it.
And then they totally ruined what's her name? Amelia Clark. they made her that one character just with her big ol' arm.
Yeah, that's not great, dude.
I don't think they'll ever revisit her.
I would be fucking shocked. They did. One of the people who does show up in that in the what if the emergence destroyed the earth or whatever. Shang-Chi's mom is in that shit.
Yes.
She's the Asian lady in it. Yeah. I thought that was interesting that she shows up. She also kicks ass in it too.
She's a great leader. Who I cannot remember for the life of me, who does Riri Williams beat up in the very beginning when she's getting the toy oven? Because she gets double crossed.
Are you talking about the lady?
Yeah, who's that lady?
It's the lady from Falcon and Winter Soldier and from the love interest, the one who makes out with Steve Rogers in Civil War. It's Peggy's daughter.
What is her name?
The God, fuck. I wonder if her name is in here.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that, and I was just like, because they set it up like, oh, it's like this crazy, like messed up universe, but she's tracking down these toy ovens.
Fuck, I don't think they have that person's name in the Wikipedia thing. Emily Van Camp, Sharon Carter.
Sharon. Good old Sharon.
There it is.
Which I'm sorry, is she going to show up in Thunderbolts?
I would imagine she should.
Yeah.
She's bad.
We haven't seen her in a while.
Haven't seen her in a while.
But it was cool to see her.
She's in what's the city from the X-Men?
Krakoa?
They go to in what?
Wait, I said Krakoa?
No, it's the city that they go to, it's like Dubai, but fucking black market.
Yeah, it's where Black Panther went there. I cannot remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, isn't it like fucking? Doesn't like what's his face have something? Doesn't Sinestro have some, or what? Not Sinestro. Fucking it's DC. What the fuck's the like the devil looking
Mephisto.
Yep.
What is the name of that city? I cannot think of it.
God, we really do need a Jamie. I mean, other than you.
Yeah, a young Jamie.
We need a young Jamie for this. It isn't Mephisto who I'm thinking of. Is it Dr. Sinister?
I don't know who you're thinking of, to be honest.
Mr. Sinister. He's an X-Men villain. I remember him from the X-Men cartoon as a child. He looked crazy. Got a wild fit. Yeah, I'm trying to remember right now what the fuck that place is.
I'm literally looking it up right now, but I cannot.
That's crazy you can't find it. Oh, I bet it would be in like the
It's in the first Black Panther or the second one? It's the first one, right?
I think it's the first one.
Yeah.
It's where he starts out. But it's in fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It takes a
Yeah. Let's see.
This is great fucking podcasting we're doing right now.
I know. I can't remember last time we were like this stumped, but like, how the hell can we not remember where the hell this place is?
Madripoor.
Thanks,
Google AI.
Jeez. And people want to talk about AI, but
Dude, it gave us that Gel song.
Gel, what a band.
Gave us that Gel song. It's maybe the only good thing AI did. Somebody needs to put that shit on vinyl. But yeah, Madripoor. That's where Sharon. So if we go to Madripoor ever again, that bitch will probably be there. All right, you want to move on to your favorite episode?
Yes.
This was your favorite episode, right?
Yes. What if 1872?
I knew it was your favorite episode within the first 2 minutes. The second Shang-Chi walks in
Okay.
and he says, "How about you, Hawkeye? When's the last time you missed your mark?" And then you realize it's Kate Bishop. I paused it and I looked at Ash and I went, so Jamie loves Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop is one of his favorite characters. I know exactly why this is his favorite episode immediately.
Yeah, just a team up that I wasn't even expecting. So like when I saw this, I'm like, okay, I'm a buckle and this is going to be fun no matter what.
Yeah, it was cool. I really fucked with it. Also, the fact that John Walker got to be in it, getting his ass fucking handed to him.
Yeah, and then
royally.
There's a little, hint that maybe there's like a future Iron Fist there. That little kid. Yeah,
that was cool too. That was a nice little Easter egg. Dude, that opening scene though, when when he does the hat throw, which is a classic Western thing. I loved that. Throws the hat. They're fucking duking it out. When Kate Bishop is firing her revolvers, and then as they empty, just catching
the other, like the bad guy's revolvers, that was badass.
And just continuing to shoot. That shit fucking rocked. Also, this episode, they kill so many people in this episode.
Yeah. Murder.
They're finding they ended up finding this train or whatever.
Yeah,
like I'm assuming run by some vibranium shit.
Yeah.
When they're on the train, all the people, all the workers, which, dude, I don't know if you've seen this. There's like some like, I don't know if this is an actual viral thing or if this is just something Mo from Two Witnesses started saying. But Mo from Two Witnesses has been on this like calling everybody workers thing lately.
I've never heard that.
He's just like workers. Everything's about the workers. He joined the Teamsters recently, and I thought that's what it was.
Okay.
But then the other day, Ashton saw a TikTok of some like guy like walking with his like Bluetooth headset on, just being like workers out here with the Bluetooth headset, which is workers out here, and he's like just saying workers over and over again. And we're like, is this what Mo's doing? Is he referencing this TikTok that none of us have seen? Like, is this like some weird, because Mo's insane. So whenever on this episode someone said the workers, I would just look over at Ash and go, workers.
That's funny.
Because Mo's just been on this shit for fucking weeks. But yes, all the workers are on the train and whatnot. But dude, when one person shows up, Walton Goggins from Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man 2 getting a lot of love in this goddamn show. With Lawrence Fishburne and then Walton Goggins showing up. When Walton Goggins is like giving his like, James Bond villain speech about how he killed Kate Bishop's parents, and then fucking little maybe Iron Fist, snaps her out of the thing. She fucking kills all of those guys.
Yeah, instantly. She's just like, well, I could totally understand because she she had this idea that the Hood was the one that killed
Mhm.
her parents, but when she's getting taunted face to face, and the dude has her mom's pistol, just
Yeah.
like, oh, this guy's a dick.
Yeah. And he's a dick. True.
Yeah, so I was happy that she was able to, get some revenge.
I didn't see the Hood being was it Zhao Ling?
Me either.
And it was obvious. I should have seen that. I'm an idiot.
And I just hated how Shang-Chi is just such a nice guy. He's like, nope. He's like, you're my sister. I know you're in there. And he just, it just stops. And I was like, you
and
can't.
he was going to let her kill him. And
because
she might have been about to kill him.
Yeah, because he gave her the little kunai dagger thing that was at the end of that chain. And he was just like, yeah. He's like, all right. And gets on his knees. And I am so surprised at how chill he was with Kate Bishop just killing his sister, even though it was a mistake. But he's like, oh, it's all right. I just like, that's so crazy. There's like not a
cartoon dog. We got to keep it moving.
Not a whole lot of emotion there, which I thought was
cartoon. We got to keep moving. That was probably the worst part of it, was how quickly he got over the shit. I was like, damn, they're gonna be like at odds now, and this is the new thing. Like, and it's like, nah, they're still just out there.
Yeah, it's like the episode's pretty much over.
Doing the same shit.
But
I did. What is that dagger on the chain called?
I have no idea.
Oh, you just called it something. I was.
Oh, I just because it looked like a kunai, like a Japanese thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I always just call that the thing that Scorpion uses.
Yeah. Well, they just call that the move is called Spear, so I don't know.
Okay.
Before we move on, one thing I was confused about is they kept referencing the 10 rings, but there's no 10 rings present. Because he could have easily killed everybody if he used the 10 rings. That wasn't there. But then
true fucking story.
But then also, at the end, right? Sister dies. The Hood, the real villain, is that this actual Hood that kind of floats off. That's another nod because I don't know if you've kept up with it, but in Ironheart, the Hood is one of the villains, or might be the main villain. Okay. Yeah, so it's just like, all right, they're sprinkling in Ironheart stuff here.
Okay,
so should be cool.
Well, that's something. All right, episode 7. This one's just kind of a filler episode, if I'm being honest with you.
What happens? This is
it opens up with Peggy Carter, Kahori, and well, we get to see a Storm.
that was so cool because I was not expecting an X-Men character.
Me either. And also her wielding Thor's hammer was fucking cool.
Yeah, because who was it? They're like, oh, and Thor, because you only see like the silhouette, but then once the light shines, it's like, oh no, it's not Thor, it's Storm.
Yeah, I actually called it immediately. I was like, oh my god, is it fucking Storm? And then you see the silhouette and you see the hammer, and I was like, oh damn, it's just Thor. And then it was Storm, and I was like, oh, I was right, it was Storm. Holy shit. And so is Birdie the Duck an actual character? I've never known.
If I'm being honest, I've never seen that character. We can look it up because she could be an character, like an original character for the series. Because if I'm being honest, I never really got into Howard the Duck, like reading comic book wise.
Me either. I was just always aware of the insanely weird movie.
Let's see.
I don't think so.
Let's see. I'm looking. Where's there? There's so many birdies in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, she's just created for this. Apparently Natasha Lyonne is going to be in Fantastic Four though. But playing a so far unknown character.
So now we got two original characters.
Birdie the Duck. What?
Because remember last season, Kaori, she's an original character, yeah. Which I was happy to see her back because I really liked her story.
Yeah, me too. Because she's in the comics now, I think, is what I've heard.
But she is.
I think so. I think they made a comic after this original character was created for the MCU, or possibly. That's what I heard. I thought maybe. Might just be full of shit. Might be even being a straight up Joe Rogan right now.
You gotta say allegedly. No, they made a comic book. You're right. I'm
Cool.
looking it up right now. It's called Reshaper of Worlds. Came out last year.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw whenever I looked it up, it was like, this is the first character, because it's sort of like a Harley Quinn sort of situation.
Or how she came from the
Um,
animated series.
Mhm. She was so popular that they were like, fuck, I mean, this works. Let's just slide this right over.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's a really cool character. I'm kind of hoping they let homegirl from Echo play her, because
Oh,
that's who voices her.
Oh, really?
Her cousin,
Mm-hmm.
fuck. I only ever know her as Nora from she's in Reservation Dogs, which is some shit you should watch. Another Hulu show.
Okay.
But yeah, that actress is the one who voices Kahori in this, which is pretty cool. Because she's a great actress. She's maybe one of the stronger people. I mean, all the kids in Reservation Dogs are pretty good, but she's really fucking good in it.
Mm-hmm. But I'm trying. Yeah, I'm literally trying to rack my brain about what happened that episode, because
What happens? So they show up, they destroy that big squid thing. Peggy Carter literally goes in one eye and out the other, just
okay.
scrambles its fucking brain, which is very gross. And she probably should have been covered in way more goop afterwards, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, because what team is there, right? Because they show up, but there's like a group of people that are standing right there. I'm trying to remember who's right there.
Oh, it was Nebula. Nebula's in charge of Nova Prime.
That's who it is, Nebula, and she has like the Yondu's like,
or she's
Yeah.
part of, or she's in charge of like security for Nova Prime or whatever.
Mhm.
Which I think is like a carryover from previous season.
Yeah, last season.
Which is one of the better episodes last season, honestly, is the Blade Runner episode with her. I remember us talking about that one in fucking extensively. But yeah, so they destroy the fucking thing. And then they notice the shards.
The shards. Yeah, and that's when
and they
realize,
figure, and then they decide to go. They're gonna have to go and ask an Infinity Ultron for help.
yeah, because
But and then it plays into like the whole like Peggy doesn't want to lose another person from her team and whatnot, and then she does the dumbest thing that they ever do, is just try to go alone.
Yeah,
idiot.
But one of the coolest things is that they had Kang's pod, like
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so in this timeline, wherever they defeated Kang,
yeah,
is
cool.
is that a jab at Jonathan Majors, the subtle jab, or I don't know? Yeah,
I'm trying to think. So wait, oh yeah, so this is the second to last episode, and then the next episode's the end, which is what they've kind of done every season, is had that 7th episode lead right into the 8th one.
Yeah,
but this one felt even more filler-ish. I guess because they did the thing where like each of them tried to solve the problem. Like first Birdie tried to solve it, and then Storm tried to solve it, and none of them could. And then it leads to Peggy being like, "Fuck, I'll do it myself."
Which
Idiot.
I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, this is really not the best idea.
And it's one of those, like, for me, this is one of those things where like this is where this season kind of fails, where the other ones really succeeded, in my opinion. Is this one just like does the thing that like clearly Peggy Carter should just know better at this point.
Yeah.
But they wanted to, I can see them wanting to like end it for her. And they do. But yeah. And maybe making it, I don't know. It just, to me, it was one of those, like, it felt like a rerun of another, like an old lesson. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, what are the chances of like this, really bad guy having a change of heart and wanting to help?
Did you tell me about Ultron?
Yeah.
Well, I really liked that, honestly.
No.
The coolest thing in this whole season actually might have been Ultron talking about conflict and peace.
Yeah.
In life. Like, what is it? There is no life without conflict, and there is no and like I think it's like there is no peace without like life, or something like that. Something like that. I can't remember what the fuck. I'm gonna have to look it up now if I can, because it was probably the more profound thing. Oh, There's no peace without life, and concludes that he's made a mistake and he's okay. Yeah, never mind. It doesn't have the quote on the fucking.
But can you imagine how bored he must have been? Because he said that he's been there for like eons.
He was just shut off, dude. He was in rest mode.
He's just like, dude, I was trying to, have peace, but there's no peace. There's nobody here. It's just me. He's probably so bored.
Yeah, dude, I would hate that. I'd probably watch a lot of YouTube.
I would try to tear open space to get into another timeline. Be like, all right, let me try this again, because I know what it's like to get it my way. Let's try it a different way.
Damn it, I'm trying to fucking find it, but then I just ended up with a fucking ended up with a TikTok.
TikTok is pretty interesting. I have a buddy from New Jersey. Shout out Avery. He sings for a band called Cut Down.
Cut Down's awesome.
Yeah, he commented on an old TikTok video asking me to hang out, and I saw it like 2 weeks later because I don't go on TikTok to just be social. So I texted him. I'm like, dude, I just saw your comment. Like, you can text me. So we made plans to hang out. After I saw his comment 2 weeks later, which that was ridiculous.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's like, dude. I can't remember if I've ever given this. And I've given one Mo story, on this on the pod today, but I'll give another one. There's this really awesome moment when we were living together at Chestnut House, the house that we lived at that used to do shows. We would get on Cameron, the original drummer, and Walk Alone, and also he played drums in Another Mistake for a little while. He also played drums in Damaged Goods at the end, Mo's band before Wicked Garden. But we used to sit in Cameron's room and play Call of Duty all the time, and we would play One in the Chamber. Have you ever played this thing on?
I know what it is, but
we got like one bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So we would play One in the Chamber a lot on online, and Mo texted our friend Chris Miles, who sang in the band Written Off, texted Chris Miles as he was logging on to Call of Duty and just said, "Meet me at One in the Chamber." He just figured they could both get online on Call of Duty at the same time, and they'd link up.
It's like, there's a whole process behind it.
He had no fucking idea. He had never been there for the setting up, the linking with friends.
Mm-hmm.
So he just had no concept of how that actually worked, which was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So we that was like a quote we say to each other all the time is meet me at One in the Chamber.
That's hilarious.
Yes, it is hilarious. I think I found this on a Screen Rant article.
Okay.
And I'm gonna find this quote. Fuck my life. Yeah. Peace was the absence of conflict. And after realizing he's created an empty world. Never mind. Screen Rant fucked up too and doesn't have the full quote.
They're just kind of,
everybody sucks. It was a cool quote. If you're listening to us talk about it and you haven't watched the shit, watch the shit. It's good. It's a good Ultron quote.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Watchers, he gets nabbed up by his boys because they're pissed at him for helping humanity.
Okay.
And inhumanity.
And I'm curious about your moral stance on that. Do you agree with the Watchers?
No. Uatu is right. Uatu is right, and that's why Captain America, I take his side in Captain America Civil War. When I see a situation going sideways, I can't not help. And that's the thing. I think that what he says, which fast forwarding, we can just blow through it right now. Ultron helps. He gets fucking smoked.
Dude, they make him look so weak.
Yeah, they fuck his ass up.
They squeeze his head.
But the Watcher ends up making all of the homegirls into Watchers.
Yeah.
And then they have a Dragon Ball Z style fight.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm like, nobody's getting tired. Nobody's really getting beat up.
Yeah, it is a Dragon Ball Z style fight. It was going to go on forever
Hmm.
until the Watcher eventually is just like, nah, dude, we're going to stop fighting.
Oh god, yeah. And I at that moment, I hate that he's such a good guy because they
Mhm.
they had him checkmate, like boom, like you guys are done. But he told him stop. He was like, no, this is not how we're gonna do it. And then
they did their little Voltron spinny move, and we're cooking all of their variants. And then
it was kind of
and
cool
then
because I watched like a new Rockstars breakdown where they kind of like paused and were showing like different like forms
everybody's
of people.
different variants. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I could see that some of them were pretty sick looking. But yeah, Peggy sacrificed herself, sends him to the Stephen Strange universe, which we come to find out he is still sentient in because he is the universe.
Yeah, when he shows up in the stars, I was like,
I did like whenever they say something about when the Watchers are like, what, Stephen Strange, you consider that a good person? And he's like, yes, he sacrificed
himself.
everything to remake the world without him.
Yeah, because he could
like he doesn't even get to live in the world.
Yeah, he doesn't get to enjoy anything anymore. He gets to, just have it exist for everybody else, not for him.
Yeah, that is sacrifice. Like that's beautiful, and I really like that. I don't know. I thought that I mean, it doesn't hurt that it's fucking Jeffrey Wright doing his goddamn voice. That I really feel for that character. But yeah, I mean that point. But then also like, so they send, and the Watchers have no power there, which means, are they all fucking stuck there now?
I think so. Yeah.
All of them, because none of them have power there.
Yeah, I think that was a plan to make it so that they can't have any say in anything anymore.
But that means that the girls are stuck there too.
Yeah, well, I think they're okay with that if they.
Yeah. And that's like, I don't know, it's like incredibly beautiful to think that all of these people are now trapped in this universe, forced to just learn from each other.
Yeah, because when they're having like the Watchers having like the sit down at the end, and just like after this crazy amount of fighting, like they literally try to erase you, but like the fact that they can just sit down and just talk, like this is awesome.
But yeah, no, I loved what Uatu says to the Eminence or whatever. He's like you've been watching for a while, and now it's time to learn how to see. And that's fucking cool. It was cool. So like, I mean, this did have like a really nice. Wait, no, actually, at the end, they are back in the Seam universe when they send the shield off. So they must have found a way to get, because they send Peggy's shield.
Yeah, because they like remake it or whatever.
Yeah, they're in the Seams again at the end. So who knows where they left the three dickhead Watchers, but yeah, no, I thought it was a cool ending, conclusion, message. I just thought that like I thought that like Peggy maybe deserved a better motivation for. I think maybe they could have done it without her doing like the "I'm going it alone" thing. Like that's just so cliche.
The sacrificing of the main character,
or they're her going to Ultron and getting like taken. Thing.
Okay.
Like I get that. Like, I mean, it did give it. I'm torn because her doing that, I think, was stupid of her for what her character should have learned over all this time of doing this. But then also her absence of that, or her absence in that scene, gave Ultron that opportunity to give the best line of the whole season.
We didn't even talk about like everybody showing up and like beating him up, and he was just not fighting back. But then he had to use the time zone to be like, "Yo, chill."
He's like, I know I could snap you all out of existence, right?
Yeah, and they're all kind of realizing, oh yeah, this guy is so powerful.
Yeah, no, that was cool. But yeah, no, I thought it was fine. This whole season was fine. It was about half pretty cool, and then half like I'm kind of confused by why.
The only thing I'm confused about is why did they decide to end it? Because this was so fun.
The showrunner from the first 2 seasons left.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. So like people who like people who had worked on it all kind of banded together to like fill that void,
Hmm.
and then kind of decided like we'll do one more, but we're not going to keep it going
Okay.
without this person. I can't remember who it was. I was looking into the production before we got on here, and I read that it was, so the head writer AC Bradley revealed that they were after that the second season of the series was her final project at Marvel Studios. So Michael Chauncey, the editor, took over as head writer for the season, and the director returned along with somebody else to Brian Andrews and Stephen Frank. Like basically everybody's kind of banded together, but also I guess those two guys are working on Marvel Zombies as well.
Hopefully that's cool.
But yeah, so also I guess the Red Guardian episode was supposed to be in the second season, but didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah. All in all, what if? You can blow through it in a couple days.
Yeah, I did season 3 and just two settings. I did 4
Two
episodes,
settings,
4 and 4.
Same. I think we did 5 and 3.
I was on, it had to have been like TikTok or Instagram, but I saw this thing about the Avengers, titles, being color coordinated with the Infinity Stones. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, so they're talking about like Age of Ultron being tied to the Reality Stone because that title's in red for the Reality Stone. Infinity War's yellow for the Mind Stone. Endgame purple for the Power Stone.
Yeah.
The first Avengers blue for the Space Stone.
The Space Stone.
And then the last two, Doomsday green for the Time Stone. And then the last one, Secret Wars, for the Soul Stone. So people were like, huh. Was this intentional or just lucky coincidence? I don't know.
That's interesting. Huh.
And
That's pretty cool. That's
yeah,
pretty funny.
I think it's awesome because, and you gotta think, hey, this is like the end of like, the multiverse saga, which is kind of a trip, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm ready for it, dude. I'm ready to see some X-Men.
Yeah, and here's with the leaks again. I saw like some the guy had a drone and like went and was like way above like one of like the giant like set pieces, and I don't know. There's all this like speculation. They're like, oh, why did whoever plays Nightcrawler? They're like, they're saying that this time around for Avengers Doomsday, it only took like 90 minutes to do his makeup, but back in the other X-Men, it took him 4 hours. So we're thinking that they're just gonna kill him instantly. So there's all this like weird speculation.
Huh? Is Ian Cummings coming back? Is that correct?
Ian
for Nightcrawler?
Yeah, whoever is that his name? Yeah, if that's his name, I'm
Yeah.
really bad. Yeah, they got back the original Nightcrawler.
That's pretty sick. He's incredible. He's one of the best parts of X2, honestly.
Yeah.
God, X2 is so sick.
Yeah, well, dude, back then, like those were like that and like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man that I was like, dude, comic books.
But X2 is like legitimately sick. Like X-Men kind of is dated.
Yeah.
And X3 sucks ass.
Pretty bad. But honestly, like when I go back to X-Men movies, I just watch Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past is Days of Future Past and First Class are my favorite ones.
I was so excited for what was the one with Apocalypse, the newer one.
Apocalypse.
Oh, was it called Apocalypse?
It was.
I was
so stoked for it and so let down. They cast Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse and it wasn't good.
Dude, was it Olivia Munn as Psylocke and like she was barely in the movie? Like Psylocke is
there's one good thing in Apocalypse.
It was
and it is Magneto.
No. Evan Peters.
Yeah, he's fine, but that also is Magneto.
What do you mean?
He's part of that storyline.
Oh yeah. The whole time I'm like, is he gonna tell him that that's his dad? I was like waiting for it. I'm like, please, but it never happened.
I mean the best part of that movie is the Magneto story, and it's just I don't know, man. What a letdown.
Yeah, and I really liked what's her name, Game of Thrones girl, Sophie.
Sophia Turner.
Yeah.
Sophie Turner.
Yeah, Sophie Turner. Yeah, I was like, this is great, but then it's like, no, don't turn into Phoenix because your role's going to be over. Don't do it. But
Yeah, you gotta hold off. You gotta hold off. I mean, I just thought all of them were just so underutilized in that movie. Because I'm trying to remember, is that when what's his face from Ready Player One and whatnot gets introduced to Cyclops too?
no, he's been Cyclops, right?
I think that's the first movie he's Cyclops in.
Is it? It's been so long.
Yeah, dude, Dark Phoenix. What a mistake.
No, dude, there was one I haven't even watched. With magic in it.
Oh, New Mutants.
Yeah.
I never watched New Mutants either.
I was always scared because I'm like, I love the character Magic, but the movie got talked about so bad. I was like, I don't.
And it's got like awesome actors in it too. It's got the older brother from Stranger Things is in it,
dude,
as well as Game of Thrones. Maisie Williams is in it too.
That's the last X-Men movie. But we're about to enter a whole new era, the MCU X-Men, which should be cool. I hope it's cool because I really love the multiverse stuff because there's like a good balance.
Fuck, Anya Taylor-Joy is in that movie too.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
She's Mad Max Furiosa.
I've never seen it.
She's also in the Queen's Gambit, or I think.
Oh, she's in.
Is that it?
She's in The Witch. Yeah, she's in Queen's.
Yeah,
Gambit.
the Vivitch. Yeah, she's in the Vivitch.
Uh
She's also in
oh
The Menu. Which, have you seen the fucking Menu?
no, I've not.
So sick.
She's in Peaky Blinders.
I didn't know she was in Peaky Blinders. I've never seen that shit, but I want to.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. She's in Avengers Doomsday.
She's wait. Actually, what is she gonna be in that
I
then?
don't know. I'm just going through the list of things that she's in.
That's crazy. I forgot that for a second I was confusing her insanely with Julia Garner, who's playing the Silver Surfer.
It's unlisted.
Hmm.
She's on the list, but
That's interesting. I wonder who the fuck she is.
yeah, but they have M'Baku's character, but they don't have him as M'Baku. Let's see. I haven't even heard of this person before. Avengers. Oh, she. See, this is how bad I am. She literally plays Magic in New Mutants.
Oh, okay.
So she's supposed to be coming back as Magic. That is so funny.
Oh, that would be a bummer. That's a bummer for her to not just get to play a different character that may have a future.
Yeah, because like all these older people, they're gonna die or get killed off. They're not. There's no future for them because they're gonna.
I can't believe Rebecca Romaine is coming back to play Mystique.
When did her and John Stamos split up?
It's been a while, I think.
Yeah, because I was like, why are they not saying her full name? And then, oh no, she's not with him anymore. I'm like, oh, I did not know that.
Damn, dude, that's like my biggest fear is like texting somebody and being like, "Yo, are you and so and so gonna be at the show tonight?" And it's like, we broke up. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking kill me.
Yeah, I just see you at the show.
Ah, damn it! I just got it ruined for me. Who's playing Sentry
He's in the trailer.
in the trailer for what?
Isn't he in the Thunderbolts trailer?
They never show his face. I didn't know if it was going to be somebody I'd never seen before.
Oh, maybe I watched just too many YouTube videos. So I thought that was like
Dog. Speaking of Kelsey Grammer, reprising his role as Beast, we're fucking watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Okay.
We started it 2 days ago. One of those bitches is married to Kelsey Grammer in the first episode. It's nuts.
What is that? Is that like a reality show?
Yeah. We finished Vanderpump Rules finally after watching it for 2 months. So now we're watching Real Housewives because I want to see where this lady from Vanderpump Rules comes from.
But like, is it just like a day to day, or is there like a story, or like what is Real Housewives like?
It's like just like people being like filthy rich.
Is it like the Osbournes or like Viva La Bam, or is it like
It's sort of like a cross between like maybe like that and what was Jessica Simpson's reality show?
her Nick Lachey? What was it called? I don't know what it was called.
God damn it! What the fuck? It was like Just Married or some bullshit.
Whatever happened to
Just-
Jessica Simpson?
She had a hard go of it. I listened to a podcast about her life, that You're Wrong About show, Newlyweds with Nick Lachey. It's sort of like Newlyweds and like the Osbournes and whatnot, where it's just like these like filthy rich ladies, and then like some of them like say like insanely out of pocket and stupid shit sometimes. But yeah, Jessica Simpson's had like a fascinating go of it. That You're Wrong About podcast did like a fucking multiple parter on her whole damn life.
Mhm.
And listen to it if you are interested in some very wholesome Willie Nelson content, as well as some nice Dolly Parton moments as well. And there's a very endearing thing that Celine Dion does in the story. But for the most part, it's a lot of eating disorders, a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, and some mild I don't know, toxic relationships. She had a relationship with John Mayer for a while that was insane. I believe he said some of the craziest shit he ever said while he was dating Jessica Simpson.
Like publicly or like?
Yeah. He when I believe when he was dating Jessica Simpson might have been when he said that his dick is racist.
I don't know what that means.
I believe he was talking about how he isn't attracted to black people.
Oh, okay.
It's like, and I think he said, it's like my dick is racist, which is no one made you say that.
I don't really know too much about that guy.
You could have said nothing. You could have not shared this. You could have not shared this information. You didn't need to say that.
Starting out some controversy.
It's pretty crazy. John Mayer, fucked up guy.
I just know he does shows with Dave Chappelle sometimes.
It like minds, you know. Problematic people just banding together.
Is Dave Chappelle problematic?
Absolutely, dude. He's too rich. He's too rich. He's got poor judgment. He brings Elon Musk on stage, dog.
He does?
Yeah.
Elon Musk, that guy's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, his I don't want to mess this up. The kid that he disowned, is that fair to say?
Yes.
They're a K-pop fan. So in my I'm in my Instagram reels, it's just like, oh, Elon Musk's kid loves K-pop, is a Mitzi, and I'm just like, oh, this is so awesome.
Did you see she outed him as like a terrible video gamer?
No.
I can't remember what game it was that she was talking about playing with him, but I guess she has a twin, and Elon would like basically like bug the shit out of her and her twin to play like some game with her or with him to basically like pad out the stats.
Oh,
because they were better at the game than he was, so that they could carry him. And while like explaining all this, like in the same interview, basically like discloses that she didn't even know what a Steam Deck was. Meaning that when she was like a child, she was such a good, like she was, as an average child playing video games, she was so much fucking better than Elon Musk at video games, that she hasn't even kept up with video games enough to know what a fucking Steam Deck is. And I know what a Steam Deck is, and I have a fucking flip phone.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I haven't played a video game in years.
I was so I follow like this journalist, and he did an interview with Kanye West. I don't know if you've ever seen clips from it. Like Kanye West did this interview, and he was in a KKK outfit.
Oh, I saw the pictures of it.
Yeah, and like while they're setting up, they see that he has like this like portable like gaming system. It was like a ROG Ally But I was just so surprised that like none of them knew what it was. Like, is that a Switch? What is that? And like nobody in the room knew what it was. And I was like looking at it. I'm like, how do they not know what that is? But I was like, oh, well, I guess it's probably because I'm into like computers and stuff.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't know I don't even know what a Steam Deck looks like. I just know it exists
Mhm.
and what it does because I have friends who fucking use the shit and they tell me about it. There it is.
Elon Musk, he's a fraud. You know, I've been into watching. You know what speed running video games is?
Yes.
Okay, so I've been into like this channel, like they're like exposing this like Pokemon speedrunner guy. Like you know, they're breaking it down so crazy. Like there's like these like programs that can, break down exactly like which way the NPC is supposed to be looking if the game that you're playing is actually like the real save file and not something that was like spliced together to create some world record. And
Yeah,
it was just so like fascinating to me. So I'm like, wow, like this person worked so hard to try to fool people, but there's just smart people out there that are just like, nah, this guy's a fraud.
That's
This is
crazy.
Yeah, it was
That's
wild.
amazing. Did you see back speaking of Elon Musk being a fraud, he tried to stream him playing I think the Path of Exile game, the game that he got exposed for being a fraud at. He tried to stream it over like while he was flying like across the country or something to
Okay.
like show like how strong Starlink is, that you can like stream a video game while you're like flying in a plane. And people just spammed the fuck out of his like Twitch stream
Oh,
with
no.
like bullying comments till he
Mhm.
just like quit the game and stopped playing.
Yeah.
I think somebody said like nothing you do will fill the void of unhappiness in your life. That was like something somebody like spammed him with.
Oh no. And
It was like you will die alone and nothing you can ever do will change that.
yeah, and he's probably thinking about that before bed. Just some random
hope
shit
so,
talker is gonna get under his skin. This
Fucking
billionaire.
scumbag, dude.
Did you see this most recent space flight thing
No.
with like Katy Perry?
Was this a Blue Origin one?
Yeah.
I heard about it. Who all did the shit?
I don't know.
All of
Probably.
them idiots.
It was like Jeff Bezos' ex-wife or current wife. It was like a bunch of people. I was like, I don't even know who these people are. But obviously, like I'm, still in like my, Bart Sobrell, bag. That's all I listen to is Bart Sobrell podcasts. And it's so funny because he talks about the same thing on every podcast. But it's just so.
I don't even know who that is.
He's this guy who's like the main proponent for like the moon landing was fake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. BartSobrell.com. Every podcast he talks about it. It's so amazing. It's so funny.
Oh, dude. I think I can talk to you about, because I never watched this shit, but we watched it the other night. We all got together and for Chandler from Two Witnesses, we had a like diaper party because he's got a kid on the way this summer.
Okay.
So like all the boys were there, like me and Caleb and Dave, Aaron from All Gods Die, Mo was there. It was all at Peter's house. Caleb was there, or I might have already said Caleb's name. I mean, all the boys were there. But afterwards, like me and Isaac and did you meet Eric Easterday when you were here?
Yes.
Such a good guy. But me and Isaac and Eric and Chandler and I guess Jim was still there. We watched the UFC fight the other night.
Okay. Great card.
I haven't seen this shit in a while. Those guys beat the crap out of each other.
That's how it goes. It's a rough gig. That's why, I had to give up my dream of being a UFC champ.
Yeah, that looks tough, dude.
It's a lot of work, but it's very entertaining. It's the only sport that I'm like a super nerd about, that like I obsess over.
Yeah, like I hate how problematic it all is, and how problematic the corporation is.
Oh yeah, you got to see, because Trump, Elon,
Dog,
they were there.
They rolled across the fucking thing, and it's like Elon's there with his kid on his shoulders. It's way too late to have a child that young out. Fucking Trump's there. Goddamn Marco Rubio's there. Tulsi Gabbard's there. Who's running the damn country, dog?
Yeah, people joke like, "Oh, this would be a perfect opportunity to bomb the building."
Everyone in that building, coward.
Dude, it's
Everyone in that building, fucking coward.
yeah. And like, okay, so Trump has always been like a supporter of Dana White. He's always he's always been into mixed martial arts, but since like 2016 till now, he's like become like more prominent and like
I mean, that's my thing, dude. The thing that pisses me off the most about all this shit is when people like every right wing fucking piece of shit psycho will say like, can we just get politics out of sports?
Mhm.
Can we just get the politics out of it's like, dude, you are the ones making this political.
Yeah, it wasn't always like that. Like I said,
Yeah.
up until like 2016.
Yeah.
Because of his Trump's relationship with Dana White, they were like really close, and obviously Joe Rogan is there.
Dude,
So
yeah, fucking dude. The fact, and like that's my thing. Like Joe Rogan cannot claim to be anything other than a right wing fascist at this point. That's it. He's just a right wing fascist. You're running with right wing fascists. You're hanging with you're having them on your podcast. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, and it's not Howard the Duck, I don't know what to fucking tell you, dude. Like this is clearly that. Like and it was hard. Honestly, it wasn't hard to still enjoy it because watching people get punched is so fucking fun.
Mhm.
But it did like take me out for a second. I was just like, God, this sucks. Can we go back to the punching?
Yeah, because I'm not like super political, and obviously like when I see that, I'm like, I was like, I wonder if people think I'm like a crazy MAGA dude because I love UFC and Joe Rogan. But it's all
I mean, probably. That's the thing that sucks.
yeah. But and to be clear, obviously, I'm not. I don't have anything MAGA back here. I don't.
No, I know, but
yeah.
like that's the thing. I mean, you're friends with me. If you like, if you really were, you would hate me.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man. It really bummed me out because I had so much fun watching the shit because it made me remember like I mean I used to be pretty into boxing when I was living with somebody who was pretty into boxing because it was easy because he would pay for the pay-per-views and let me know like, hey, I'm watching this night, and we would fucking hang out and eat pizza and watch fucking people punch each other. It was awesome.
You know who like the big players are in boxing these days? I don't know.
Not really.
There's this guy from Saudi Arabia. They come.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, Turkey. He's like some like crazy rich guy. He has been able to like bring these different boxing organizations together to put these fights on that people have been wanting that haven't happened because obviously there are two different companies that don't want to work together. But he's able to front crazy amounts of money to make it happen, and that's
dude, and that's the thing that sucks so much with like all like the live tour taking over like golf and different shit like that, and like Trump is like totally on board with all that stuff. Like he helps promote like live golf tournaments and whatnot, and like all these things are like so transparently to like curry favor for people to be okay with whatever country is like funding. It's I can't remember what the word for it is. Sports washing, that's what it's called. Sports washing. It's where you basically you do the the circus for people. You bring the circus to people, and because you're the one who's bringing them the circus, they will look the other way when you like chop somebody else with like a bone saw, or you invade another country and like bomb the fucking shit out of them and completely destabilize a region like Saudi Arabia has done in Yemen. Like that's the thing that sucks is like this shit all is political now. It's political because of the money that's involved in this. If you wanted to actually take the politics out of this stuff, you could say you could say we're not going to let fucking politicians sit up front at these fucking games, at these fucking fights. You sit in the fucking, you can sit in a box or whatever, but we're not going to make this about you. This is going to be about the fighters. And it's never about the fighters because these people aren't getting paid enough.
No.
It's like, that's the thing, dude. I would love to see like an AEW style, like insurgent organization try to do something that should challenge UFC's domination, like, you know, like the WWE had to eventually get challenged because of how fucking awful and right wing and racist Vince McMahon was,
You know, it's crazy.
and misogynistic.
You know, in the history of UFC, there's,
Dana White will be as bad as Vince McMahon.
oh yeah, he's already
Like-
he's already had scandals. You know, he
Like
hit,
that's the thing. Like we will find out. Like there are skeletons buried that will be uncovered, and Dana White will be another Vince McMahon.
you know, I used to be a really big fan of Dana White, but then he started he tried to blackball like one of my favorite like MMA journalists. I'm like, okay, that's a weird move. And then
Mhm.
you know, a video of him slapping up
Again,
his
dude,
wife.
people who can't handle criticism.
You know, this journalist came out and said he's never revealed like the whole story, because like there's like a lot more to it, but he's mentioned that like, yeah, like part of the reason why I kind of got ostracized from like the UFC is because like I would not be his mouthpiece. Like he thought he could control me, because in the early days he was like hooking him up with like these really cool like exclusives and, you know, giving him really cool interviews and access. But then once, you know, he kind of realized like, oh, like this guy has like integrity. I can't control him. All right, we got to get him out of here. We got to get people in here who we can control.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's like part of the book I'm reading right now about COINTELPRO is like about how like the American government figured out like, well, we can't have people who are like being legitimately critical of us. Instead, what we'll do is we'll find people who we can pay to inform on their friends and inform on different things, and then we have a say and control in what happens in these organizations. So you have people who are like involved in these organizations in good faith because they believe in like, you know, a revolution, or they believe in like some form of like equal rights and whatnot, but in fact it's being like head up, or like there are people in the structure of the organization who are bought out and are controlled by a bigger force that doesn't wish for these things to carry through. I don't know. It's just like all like, I mean, it's, you know, what power corrupts, and like all like ultimate power corrupts, and power corrupts ultimately, or whatever the fuck the saying is. Like, it's just, you can't have that much power. It's not healthy.
And I'm not sure if you're aware, but recently, it's not even that old, but WWE and UFC joined forces, and both companies are under one company called TKO now. Okay, all right.
And is that in like Rahm Emanuel, or one of the Emanuel brothers, like the big Obama guy?
Yeah, Ari Emanuel.
Ari Emanuel, yeah, he has Ari Emanuel, yeah, he has a big say in that. And it's like, that goes to show also so clearly there is like, the real politics here is wealth. Because at the end of the day, these people all agree on the tax cuts for the wealthy, no change in the status quo, all of the like MAGA versus, you know, Antifa or whatever the fuck you want to wave around the straw man or whatever. It's all distraction. It's all fucking to keep you from realizing these rich people are all just glad handing each other and, you know, moving pocket money around from each other's pockets. Like,
do you want to hear something crazy about the UFC? They do this thing where they'll go to like B markets, C markets, only because those cities have paid a site fee to the UFC, that none of the fighters get any, you know, part of that money. It all goes to the UFC. Like, they just announced that they're going to like Azerbaijan in the summer.
Jesus Christ, what?
Yeah, and that's like a city that paid a site fee just to get the UFC out there. Just like what?
That's like nearly as bad as going to Saudi Arabia, dude.
It's pretty corrupt, you know, when you kind of get into the weeds of everything. It's like, obviously, like, I love the sport, but yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, like, loving the sport, it's like, well, the people who are playing it are like just rapaciously taken advantage of.
Yeah, when, you know, the greatest fighter of all time, John Jones, can't be granted his request of getting $30 million for his next fight because UFC claims that it's too high. But it's like, dude, you know how much money they make? It's insane. That guy should be making hundreds of millions.
People are just trying to think about their futures, man.
Yeah. John,
like in reality, because you got to think like how much of that money gets spent in just the preparations for the fight, how much money that gets divvied up between managers and trainers,
dude, and the taxes on that, because all that comes
And the
after
taxes.
taxes.
Yeah, and the taxes, like everything, like you got to think like when you hear these big paydays, they do sound like a lot of money, but when you think about like, well, how many times do you fight a year?
Yeah.
How much money goes into the maintenance of your ability to continue to do this, and your recovery, and all these different things, and the fact that something could happen to you in that fight that means that you can't fight for a very long time.
Yeah, guys get injuries and they're out for a year and a half.
Like, I mean, that's the thing with like people so that's like one of the big leading things for like all the people who, want to get politics out of sports or whatever. And I'll say like, all these black football players like can't just be happy with the millions of dollars they're getting paid. And it's like, yeah, because they may never have another job.
Yeah. They're literally
like they may be injured so severely that they can never get another job.
Yeah, and those jobs aren't guaranteed. Like, they play for 4 or 5 years on like the longer
and
side.
If they're lucky, they spin this into like some form of like a secondary income, like a restaurant or something like that. But when you think about like, oh my God, your only hope for like a continued income after your sports is the restaurant business. There's fucking no money in that.
Yeah, a lot of MMA fighters these days are doing like YouTube and podcasts. That's like we get like a lot of people are starting to realize like long term we need to find other ways to make money. We can't rely on like our purse from fighting. So and there's like the majority of people have been successful, like the bigger stars. Like there's this guy Mighty Mouse who has like been able to turn like this very successful YouTube channel after his fighting career. Like one of my favorite fighters, Rampage Jackson, has this like amazing podcast, but most of them, it doesn't turn out that way.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's the thing. When you think about like, it's crazy. Like last episode when we talked about the Anthony Mackie thing, like thinking about what it takes to make it in these industries where like 100 people try to run through a doorway that's only going to let one person through. And then you get through, and now you're into another pool of people, and you're in who can work in this industry for a few years, but then they've all got to try to run through another doorway where only one person's going to get through to be able to continue to capitalize off of the previous room you were in. You realize like, oh, the diminishing returns of how far you can take these things to a certain extent. Like that's how you end up with people like, I mean, fucking Nick Cage doing, again, Nick Cage blew his entire money on like an island and like, a dinosaur skeleton and all kinds of crazy shit. But like,
he got tricked.
I mean, you got people like Wesley Snipes who like, gets all of his money. Fucking,
that's, you get a bad tax guy.
Yeah.
But then also too, you got to realize that like you got to play ball, because if you make one mistake, you're gone. You're done. You're blacklisted, blackballed.
And so, I mean, sometimes that mistake is just like not getting along with the right people. Like, I mean, that's one thing I've been curious, because he's having a renaissance right now that I'm very here for. But Josh Hartnett for years didn't get work. For like many years, Josh Hartnett didn't get work.
What is he in these days? I love Josh Hartnett.
I mean, he was in that M. Night Shyamalan movie Trap or whatever, which I actually I really liked it. I thought it was fun.
It was cool.
I thought it was fun. And then
that's based on a true story, right?
Wait, really?
Yeah. That's like a real thing. Like that happened.
Oh, so is that the thing to catch the it's like a historical event though, like a long time ago, right? It wasn't like a recent thing.
No, I think it's from like the 80s.
Yeah, it was for the Zodiac Killer, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
Yeah. I think that was originally that was something they did to try to catch the Zodiac Killer.
And they never caught him.
No. Because it's a very stupid idea. But also because they didn't know who he was. Like in Trap, they specifically targeted him, like based on, I like Trap. I thought it was a fun movie. But yeah, he's in Trap, and then he was in he was in Oppenheimer, and
I haven't seen it.
dude, Oppenheimer's so fucking good. I get it that people think it's going to be like fucking boring. It's so fucking compelling. Robert Downey Jr. crushes in it. He is so fucking good in it.
Okay. Is it on streaming yet?
Probably.
All right. Yeah, I gotta look into it.
But I honestly don't think Nolan's missed with a single fucking movie. Even Dark Knight Rises, which some people fucking hate, I think has its merits. Yeah, he's in Oppenheimer, and then he's in I saw a trailer for it. He's in a movie that looks like it's like Bullet Train, but in a plane. It's just like a bunch of assassins like trying to kill each other in a plane, which looks fun. And I'm here for it. I'm here for Josh Hartnett getting a second swing at Hollywood.
You know, I always when I used to go to laundromats, I used to dream of like having my 40 days and 40 nights moment.
Yeah.
But I gave up on it.
That's definitely a movie for young men.
I'm old now. I'm so old.
Yep.
I'm
God, 38, dog.
Well, not yet. I'm still 37, but
I know. I'm just not ready to be 37.
You know, but people tell me I look young. So
you've looked the same ever since I met you.
Thank you. I need to, start taking the adrenochrome and baby blood and stuff.
That's not gonna do anything. I've got to explain to Ashton's parents nearly every time we eat dinner with them that isn't real.
It's so funny. Wait, but these conversations that you have with them, they're like just chill conversations, right? They're not like hostile or anything.
They're not exactly stoked.
They're like, oh god, he's gonna come at us again.
They're not exactly stoked at they can never get away with the like 300,000 children go missing every year.
Okay.
Because I'll point out, like, you realize that's insane, right? Like,
Yeah,
we've been
of
over
course.
this before. That's like kids go missing, but they like are found.
They're on that
Like-
what's that website? Wayfair?
Yeah, they believe that.
You go order your
Hook, line,
Susie.
and sinker.
your
Hook, line, and
Susie
sinker.
B table.
They believe that. They believe that children were being smuggled through Wayfair.
Where do you think that these kids go?
We Ashton asks that all the time. She'll ask like, what you just said? Follow that to its logical end. Like, just think about it for just one more second. Just one more second. Think about it.
I'm assuming there's like an Epstein Island too, or all those tunnels in New York, and
It's just not it, dude. It's just not it. Like the tunnels thing, like that got brought up at a dinner recently, and Ashton was like, "You realize like every city's built on like the old city, right? So like that's what the tunnels are. The tunnels are like the old city is below it, because they raised these cities because of floods and different things like that. Like they built that infrastructure on top of other infrastructure to then like make the sewage and drainage systems that we have that keeps our cities from flooding."
it's like Futurama.
Yeah, no response. It is like Futurama. It's exactly like that. That is real shit. That's real shit. You can go to cities in Europe the same way. They're built on the old cities. It was a feat of human engineering. And it just gets ignored and turned into conspiracy theories. There are so many real conspiracies that you can subscribe to and let drive you insane. I'm driven insane by all of them.
Yes.
You do not need to make them up.
Are you caught up on like the pyramids?
Caught up? What's the pyramids? What's going on with the pyramids?
They like found out like what's going on underneath the pyramids.
I have seen some things where they're figuring out like what, how did they know how to make these? Like even more so than they already like were like, how did they make these? They've figured out like there's like entire structures in there that they didn't know existed. I have heard that.
Yeah, I think I went a little too far because apparently there's like all the pyramids. It's like a conductor that's been preserving this body of this like advanced human being that's just sleeping and waiting to awaken to enslave all.
I think you're talking about the Eternals right now.
Yeah, it gets pretty dark. Like that stuff I kind of stay away from, honestly. Like I'm just happy with the moon landing stuff.
I mean, my thing with like so much of this is like at the end of the day, like especially with like the alien stuff, like it's like, dude, like I can get whatever obsession, like whatever your obsession is, and if as long as you're having fun with it, go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But don't let it distract you from the actual problems that are going on, and like understanding like some of these things are astroturfed, some of these things are like dangled in front of you like keys to get you to like look over here while somebody fucking pulls your wallet out of your back pocket. Like understanding where like these things are distractions for you. I mean, it's the fucking migrant caravan every 2 years. Like you don't hear about that shit on a off cycle year. Unless there's a midterm, unless there's a national election, you never hear about immigration or like mobs at the border.
No,
They just don't make it news.
I was at the border a couple weeks ago. There was 0 mobs.
Yeah. It's fucking embarrassing, dude. That's all I gotta say about it.
LDB next week.
LDB next week.
Can we talk about the announcement today?
Oh, big ass truck.
Big. I'm just. Why is it big ass truck? IE. Is there like some legal stuff or?
I don't know. Maybe they just want to rep IE.
Okay. I don't really know anybody.
IE in the house though. Big ass truck and Soul Search.
And Soul Search. I don't really know anybody from Big Ass Truck. I just know that the drummer Andres, he like booked shows and is a really good drummer. So
good on him.
Shout out Andres.
When we were walking earlier, one of I can't remember if it was Isaac or I think it was Isaac mentioned, I guess for the children they had a big giant inflatable truck on stage.
Okay, I wasn't.
In my mind, immediately went to like a big giant bounce house.
Yeah, same here.
That would have been sick. If a band brought a bounce house to set up while they played, that would be epic.
It could be fun, but it have to be like an open one.
Can you imagine stage diving into a bounce house?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It could be fucking awesome, dude.
Just hope that you don't catch like a foot somewhere. Wait,
dude, can you imagine drop kicking somebody in a bounce house during a band? Fucking sick.
Yeah, because it'd be the risk of getting hurt is way less.
Yeah, everybody's fine. Except I can't bounce house right now. Yo, I am out of the boot.
Okay, I was just gonna ask. I had a lot of people reach out to see if you were okay because I for the thumbnail I used you holding your foot up. So funny. Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Is he okay? What happened?"
Yeah, so, I'm out of the boot. I'm in a brace now. I'm out of the boot into the brace. I'm on my skinhead shit now.
But are you gonna get that urge next week? You're gonna hear a breakdown, a 2-step, stage dive.
It can't happen. Right. I gotta make it at least like I'm thinking 12 weeks minimum.
That's a long time.
It's a long time, dog. I'm thinking 12 weeks minimum. The most I'm gonna let myself do is just hop around on stage. I'll let myself a little loose for that walk alone set to like feel what it's like, but I'm not even supposed to be doing any high impact stuff for like at least 4 more weeks. So my doctor said no high impact until she's seen me again, and she won't see me till 2 weeks after the fest.
Are you gonna use like a mic stand, or are you gonna like?
No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine to hop around. And like,
but aren't you worried about like people bumping into you, knocking you over?
Not during walk alone. People don't like us that much.
Okay. Is this going to be the first time I go to Louisville and Nine Eyes will not be playing?
Holy shit! Did they play both time? They played the pre-show and that
and showcase, the showcase, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's crazy too. Because I mean, they've played 2 shows in like the last like 7 years. I feel like. And you saw them both.
Yeah, and both times was like insane reactions.
Dude, they're awesome.
Yeah, where I'm always
awesome.
like,
they're better than they were when they were a band.
They should look into that.
They should look into that. But Jim's got a new band going right now that should be dropping soon. I think they record next weekend.
Oh, breaking news! I haven't talked to Jim in a while, so that's cool to hear.
Yeah, it's sick. It's really cool. Eli from Gates to Hell's in it. So is Skylar from Walk Alone, and he also plays in All Gods Die. and he was playing in Basic Needs for a while, but now he's quit that band. And I'm trying to remember who else is in. Skylar's playing drums, Eli's playing guitar. I think Peter's playing bass.
Okay.
And then Chandler's playing second guitar. Jim's singing.
Nice.
It's good.
I'm curious to hear it.
I don't want to give away anymore, but it's very specific, and it's something that people in California would like.
All right. I'm in California, so I guess
California.
I guess I'm gonna like it. I'm trying to think. I saw you or somebody posted those shorts that you guys are gonna have at the fest. Those look pretty cool.
Shit, yeah. Eric he started doing like a lot of, speaking of MMA, he started doing like some MMA promotion for local stuff.
Okay.
In Louisville. And Eric, who does Full Bleed Printing, who we print with. And he's been trying to get me on board for these like he's been trying to get me to make like fighting like MMA shorts, but through the same company they do like gym shorts too. And he was like, "You want to just do some gym shorts?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, let's go." We haven't done gym shorts in years, so I'm pretty happy with how they came out. They're like perfectly like sized in a way. They're not too long, which I hate a long short. So
yeah, I feel like I'm rocking some one shorts or something crazy.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to go back. Especially,
yeah. I'm hoping it's fun. I hope people come out and have energy to expend for bands, move up and sing along and mosh and not do the huge horseshoe thing. I feel like the horseshoe was huge last year, so I'm hoping that it moves in a little bit for more bands, and mostly because I can't be part of making it insane. I can't do anything.
You can't get the pit started. You're gonna have to
get the pit started, so people got to do it for me. I'm telling so many people, I'm like, "You're moshing for me at the fest." You know that, right? I came up with the term when I was injured the first time, designated pitter. Whenever there would be a band that I liked, I would pick somebody in the room and I'd be like, "That's my designated pitter." When they're moshing, that's me moshing.
Recently there was an after show announced, which I'm like,
oh yeah, the CMI, In Love, Basic Needs, I think is playing. Can't remember who else is playing that shit.
Let me pull it up. But it was it's going to be at Downtown Spinelli's.
Downtown Spinelli's, yep.
Now, is that place like open that late, or like what's the vibes of that place?
Mm-hmm. They're open till 4.
4 a.m.
That's how late bars are open, my friend.
I don't go to bars.
Actually, I think Spinelli's stays open till 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Because Spinelli's stays open to capitalize on the bar crowd.
Okay.
Getting out of the bars and having somewhere to go after the bars. I think 6 a.m. on weekends. I think they're open till 6 a.m. on weekends.
The other band that's on there is Eternal Wound.
Eternal Wound. Yes, that is the best band in our region right now, in my opinion.
Oh, really? I got to tap in.
Yes. It is the drummer from Gargoyles sings.
Okay.
And one of the kids from Age of Panic plays guitar. And then a couple people from I think a couple people maybe from Retribution, like I'll be honestly, we're this deep in the podcast. If any of them are listening right now, it's the best band any of them have ever been in.
Oh.
I have honestly not cared for many of the other bands they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And this band is like, their drummer, I like him a lot. And I told him after the first time I saw Eternal Wound, I was like, no band you've been in has made it apparent to me that you're a good drummer until today.
No disrespect.
I was like, this band actually showed me today that you're an incredible drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're awesome. It's like Nails, kind of like fast, heavy, really like death metal kinda, but like more in like the line of like, I don't know, just like hard ass heavy hardcore. They cover Integrity. Okay. The last time I saw them, they did Integrity. They do Judgment Day, and they did an All Out War intro.
And is this something that we're going to be going to?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If you want to go, you can fucking Uber.
I'm going to be so tired. So.
Dude, I'm going to be so tired, and I'm not even going to be moshing this year. I will be. So the real reason is because we would have to leave before the show's over.
Okay, because it's like, is it far? Because my geography of the town.
Ish.
Okay.
Ish. It's for people who aren't going to the fest or people who don't care to see Basement.
Got it. Okay.
Like that's who the after show's for.
Yeah, and if I'm being honest, in my history of being in hardcore, I've never enjoyed an after show. I've always just been like so tired.
It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Nariah, who is the one who always puts it on, the singer Basic Needs, he always does well,
Mhm.
but it's because he always does it in a small enough venue that it really is just fun for everybody who isn't going to the fest, who likes to party the weekend of the fest.
Oh, okay.
Because there are so many people from out of town in.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and it typically he's done it at like venues where like that's like a kind of a hangout spot after the fest anyway. So it should be good. It'll sell out. It'll be insane. It'll be packed. There won't even be moshing at the show. Honestly,
Is the basement?
it's just going to be packed room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
The venue's cool. I'm going to see Bib there tomorrow.
It's crazy. It's cool. Shout out the Midwest.
Yeah, and then Walk Alone is playing there. I don't know if it's being. I don't know when it'll be announced. And it's deep enough in the podcast I can say it right now. But Couldn't Be Me first show is going to be there with Walk Alone and think. Oh, they'll be so mad at me for announcing this, but I don't really care. But Self Interest from Ohio is playing.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember. I think Struck from Indy.
Okay.
So yeah, should be cool.
Now, so Couldn't Be Me first show. When's the Everybody Dies first show?
I have no idea when that shit's happening, but that shit's cool.
It's all cool.
I will say I wrote about it in the Substack. I saw on Lambgoat my favorite review of it. I don't know if you read my little post about those two things, but one of the Lambgoat comments said, Poop announces 2 new projects, Pee and Barb.
Oh my god. People get
and I get it. Like it's probably insanely frustrating for Isaac to be so hated, but I thought that one was like one of the like laziest, funniest like insult posts I've ever seen. It reminded me of like something Triumph the insult comic dog would say. Like, very good, very good. No notes.
Yeah, people can get so creative on the internet. I don't get it.
Yeah, I just go there sometimes to like be reminded that like there is evil in the world.
Yes, there's a lot of evil.
Like in case I don't like am not fully aware of like, you know, all the people in power who are evil, when I need to just see like there's like ontologically evil people just living in their parents' basement.
They're like, yeah, we got to get it out. We're gonna log into Lambgoat and do a mini review. So
very good.
New Turnstile was announced since the last time we talked,
Uh-huh.
which I thought was pretty interesting.
I think it's boring.
I
hope this is the most boring song on the record.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where they go with it. So
yeah, like I looked at it because I had like some criticism where I was like it's like the most nothing song ever, like lyrically, and someone was like, well, yeah, Mystery was the first song they released off Glow On, and that song is lyrically very sparse as well. And I was like, yeah, I guess, because I looked it up and I was like, damn, it is pretty sparse, but it's one of the best songs I've ever heard.
Maybe they're just, you know, gonna ease us into it and it's gonna be a masterpiece.
Maybe, I don't know. If it's all like that, then I'm pretty disappointed, because I thought Glow On was like the closest thing to like a post Eye Against Eye Bad Brains record. Like if Bad Brains had like made the jump to like being like a fully marketable band, like that would have been Glow On. And whatever this is, I hope it's better than what they've shown so far, because I might be done with Turnstile. Who knows? I didn't like Time and Space though.
Honestly, that's my least favorite record from them.
I didn't like it at all. I think there's maybe 2 songs on it I like, which when it comes to an LP, if I only like 2 songs, and I just say I don't like that record.
Yeah, honestly, that's where I thought I was done with Turnstile, but then
And then Glow On got you back?
Yeah.
Same here, bud.
Yeah. So, but I'm
So,
always
yeah.
I'm always rooting for them because
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're great guys. But I don't know. I think it's one of the White Reaper did the same thing when they released World's Best American Band or whatever.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, you guys wrote a record that was too good. You've now got to try to do that again.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. So yeah, whoops. Sometimes maybe you don't want to write a record that's goddamn too good, unless you're planning on breaking up after.
Yeah, just send us off with something nice.
Yeah, like Foundation did. And then now maybe they're back and gonna write more music. Who knows? Who cares?
I don't know. Well,
I'll give it a spin.
yeah, just because I like that band. I'll check it out.
I like Turncoat enough that I would give a new Foundation record a spin. We'll see.
All right. This was awesome.
I'll see you in 2 weeks, bud.
Literally next
Actually,
week.
no, not 2 weeks. Next week.
Literally next week.
I'm picking you up in like 9 days or some shit.
Yeah. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah. And I'll be healthy, which
You
I'm
better be. You fucking isolate, dog, till then.
I'm so paranoid these days because I had a scare like earlier in the month where I got like a little like scratchy throat and I'm like, this is not going to happen again. So
Emergency, dog. Emergency.
yeah, but I will be healthy. So
You better be.
all right, this is awesome. Thank you again. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back with Daredevil or Thunderbolts, one of the two.
One or the other.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But all right, thank you. We'll be back. Bye.